Call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was...
Joe Murray with you for another full show tonight. Just so you guys know, Skaz and I will be here tonight and tomorrow. No vacation for us. No, Although I'd love to leave early. You know what? We were planning on a long Celtics run. Planning on it. And it didn't happen. But you know what? Doesn't mean I'm bailing out early. Doesn't mean we're tapping out. We're here tonight and tomorrow, all full shows here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. You can call in on this horrible rainy night. 617-779-0985. That's the phone number. You can also join us on YouTube. That's where I would suggest you hang out. And you can join the chat by subscribing. And you just create a screen name, and then boom. You're right in there. The lights are shining bright here at our Town Fair Tire Studios. And it's very warm. Yet it's 45. Ah, there are the lights. Whoa. Who's listening? Is that a timer? Did you see that? Well, you're on the radio. You can't see it. Anyways, we're here all night long tonight. Feel free to call in 617-779-0985. How about we piggyback off of Matt McCarthy in the baseball hour? Here is my question to the audience tonight. Who runs the Red Sox? Think about it. Right now, who is running the Red Sox? Who is telling Craig Breslow? Who is telling manager Alex Cora what to do and how to manage players? It's a good question, right? I don't know who's running the Red Sox. I used to know who ran the Red Sox. I used to know a guy named Larry Lucchino who used to run the Red Sox, R.I.P. So, who runs the Red Sox? I honestly don't know. I thought it would be Alex Cora signing a new extension, taking over, saying he wants to be here. Maybe his influence with the Latin players. I don't know, bringing in free agents like Alex Bregman. I thought he did. I mean, is it Craig Breslow? Because I'm not even going there. Rafael Devers disrespected him. Maybe there's some people who don't even feel like he's a baseball guy. Who runs the Red Sox? Is it John Henry, who got on a plane to Kansas City to talk to Rafael Devers about what's going on? Because the guys he hired aren't getting the job done. That's for sure. The communication is bad. And then what you get the other night, Alex Cora not with the team. I'm not going to get on about that. But they won. The next night he gets tossed early in the game. They won. In those two games, there were managerial moves. Somebody was in charge of the game-to-game decisions. They won both of them. So last night, someone who runs the Red Sox tells Alex Cora, you can't let Crochet go this many pitches. So who is it that's running the Red Sox? Is it Cora? Is it Breslow? Is it management? Is it ownership? Who is it? Who was the person that said Hendricks first guy out of the bullpen? Who's the guy who said take Crochet out of the game? So that's on the table. The thing that bothered me the most after last night's game, Alex Cora's just happy to win the series. You had a chance to sweep, and you're happy to win the series? One of the highest paid managers in the league has cost the team multiple wins. This time with the ace on the mound looking for the series sweep. Now, when it comes back to Crochet, he leads the majors in innings pitched, 68 and a third. It's tied for first with the most starts of 7 innings or more this season. He's thrown more than 100 pitches in back-to-back starts. So when Alex Cora walked to the mound with 1 out in the 6th to take Crochet out of the game at just 85 pitches thrown, it was part of a load management, one that maybe or may have cost the team the game. Who is that that's telling Cora that? Why does Alex Cora care about the long-term deal for Crochet when you need to win games now? Crochet, not very happy with Cora and his decision to take him out. Cora's quote, "We have to take care of you." Crochet was visibly angry when he saw Cora come to the mound. He'd thrown 5 and a third. He allowed 1 run on 5 hits and a walk, and he struck out 5. Quote, "I was frustrated. I just wanted the chance to pick up my teammates in the bullpen. They obviously worked really hard this series, and I wanted to try to keep them out of it as much as possible." Cora was just kind of letting me know, hey, we're monitoring your workload. I apologized for yelling a curse word on the field when I saw him coming out there. I wasn't trying to show him up. Is there communication issues there? One guy wants to be out there. He's a horse that wants to work. But because there's an investment in the player, they're now monitoring his innings? You know what happened after that? Mets scored 3 runs in the 7th. They snapped a 1-1 tie. They win 5-1. It was a frustrating night for the Red Sox. Here's Alex Cora's quote after the game. "Today was one of those days that we circled up that we were going to be short." To me, that sounds like you're saying it's a schedule loss. And to go on about Crochet, it's not tough. It's for the benefit of the player. We're here for the long run, and we need that guy to make his starts for us to go where we feel like we can go with him. We need him. You need wins, Alex Cora. You need wins. It's not your money. So this is why I ask once again, who runs the Red Sox? Because Cora, I think, is doing what he's told. There's no way Breslow's passing that message down. Is it now an ownership thing? They gave him the extension, and now they're monitoring the Aces' innings? Well, while they're doing that, the team fell behind below 500 again. Alex Cora the other night, which bothered me, and I don't know if I've gotten into this yet. He and Francisco Lindor had breakfast in the morning and laughed about Lindor trying to get him and Walker Buehler ejected. I know times have changed, but just knowing that those guys are hanging out like that, is he really in charge of his team? Maybe I'm too hard on him for going out with another player. I don't know. I don't like it. The messaging hasn't been great over the last week. And the management with Cora has not been great. I hope the Red Sox at some point look around. All you care about is the future. There is no culture. You won't let the ace go out there for more innings to help the bullpen because you care about his long-term investment. You have 2 players in the minors that are ready to go, but you don't want to bring them up yet because you'd rather watch Trevor Story continue to struggle because you pay him a lot of money. The biggest issue with the Red Sox this year is they're looking ahead way too much, and while that's happening, they're losing games. It's hard to take them seriously when you don't know who's in charge and their number one priority is not winning games. I got more on that coming up in a little bit. I'll get into the pitching a little bit more. The hitting hasn't been great either. But who does run the Red Sox? Once we find out who that is, I think that person will start caring about winning games, because right now, they're looking ahead to the future way too much. 617-779-0985. That's the phone number. We're talking Sox off the bat. Get it? We're here till 11 o'clock. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
They did a good job. I mean, today was one of those days that we circle up that we're going to be short. And they put some good at-bats early on, fouled off some pitches. The pitcher got up in the first inning, but after that, he was efficient and gave us enough.
You certainly you were going to be short with him.
Yeah.
Did you? How tough of How tough is that?
It's not tough.
No, when it lines up with the day where your bullpen.
It's not tough. It's for the benefit of the player. We're here for the long run, and we need that guy to make his starts, and for us to go to where we feel we can go, we need him. And you guys talk about it before, right? Like first time going through this and all that, and we're gonna find some days that we're gonna take advantage of them, regardless of the situation. You got to put the player first, and he was very upset in the beginning, and then he was okay with it. So obviously we were short, but that doesn't dictate what we're gonna.
It's not going to be nice tomorrow either, though, right? You know what's sad is that the Red Sox aren't on Nessen, so Nessen, they don't know what to do. So what do? They play a random Daisuke Matsuzaka. Actually, it was on this date in 2008. How about that, Skaz? And I just watched J.D. Drew hit an opposite field home run. It's Kevin Youkilis. It's Mike Lowell. And, that's what they do. Hey, you know what? No Red Sox game. But you know what? Let's put the '08 Red Sox on with J.D. Drew and Daisuke against the Royals and Brian Bannister. And what's funny about it is myself and McCarthy were actually, going over the lineup. Yeah, Mark Rizzolartic. I remember that guy. But nothing. If you pop on Nessen, you're going to get J.D. Drew. What is the fascination? There's a young John Lester in there. I can see him in the dugout. That's it, though. No game? 2008. Yeah. Who runs the Red Sox? Who runs the Red Sox? It's not Alex Cora. It's not. It's definitely not Breslow. It's not Theo. Maybe he's the man behind the curtain sometimes, but it ain't him. Could it be Henry? I'm now starting to wonder if it's this Billy Bean, Bill James type. Do they have this? Is it Carmine the computer? What do you need a manager for? If you're gonna be given orders from the top. Hey, Crochet's thrown 2 100-inning game, 100 pitches in a row here. We got to watch him tonight. Well, I don't know. What if it's a 1-1 game in the 5th inning, 6th inning? No. It may have cost the team a win last night. I think Cora's been blowing a bunch of games. His decision-making, I think, has his fingerprints all over their record. Now, I know that their fielding hasn't been great, and their hitting at times, late in games specifically, is terrible, and some nights the hitting doesn't show up at all. I wish I could talk positively about the Red Sox. I do. But I don't think any of us, or even the Red Sox themselves, can take themselves seriously because they're always looking ahead. When's Roman Anthony going to get called up? Christian Campbell's playing first base. Oh, you got to see this kid down in Portland. The password. He just got promoted. All you hear about is what's coming next. And while that's happening, the team in front of your face is losing games, and the manager that's in charge has his fingerprints all over it. So if it's the computer, fine. But I would like there to be an alpha. Again, say what you want about Larry Lucchino. He was competitive and he wanted to win, man. He said the right things. He's the kind of guy when he's gone, like he is, you miss. Now, Dave Dombrowski, I like seeing him. Remember he sat down with fans at a Dunkin' Donuts one time. I want to value your concerns. I just don't think there's any leadership on that team. And you know who the guy I said could be the leader, and maybe this is a time for him? It's Rafael Devers. I think he's been delivering on that, by the way. Now, he didn't move to first base, but his play at the plate has been absolutely outstanding. Since he's hitting 400 in the month of May. Is that good? 617-779-0985. I'd love to be excited about the Red Sox, but I don't even know who's in charge there. The messaging hasn't been great. The hitting hasn't been great either. I'll get into that in a second here, but I thought this was pretty interesting. Pitchers with a sub-2 ERA, averaging 6 innings, 7 strikeouts their first 11 games with the team. Garrett Crochet now is added to a list of these names: Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Justin Verlander, CC Sabathia, Max Scherzer, Paul Skeens, and Jim Bunning. That's pretty good company right there. Cora turned to Liam Hendricks to finish off the 6th inning last night. Hendricks got 2 quick outs. So you know what he said? Let's put him back out there. Who said that? Was it you? Was it the machine? Who? Was it you? Who? Of course, before the game, Hendricks voiced frustration about how Cora and the Red Sox have been using him out of the bullpen. Hendricks allowed 3 singles in the 7th to load the bases before Cora turned to Brennan Bernardino, who then gave up a 2-run single, and of course all the runs go to Hendricks. Hendricks said he thought the team understood his frustrations and noted he feels he can only do better the more often he pitches. Quote, I feel like I haven't been pitching enough. He's appeared in 11 games. And if you want me to be me, I got to pitch I got to knock the rust off. At the end of the day, I've got to reward them by getting guys out. And if I'm not doing that, I don't deserve my job. I don't know, Liam Hendricks. Here, I'm going to defend you for a second, bro. You're coming off an injury. You're a back-end pitcher. You're either an 8th-inning guy or a closer. They bring you in to get out of an inning. You get the 2 outs. Boom. You're done. Bring in the next guy. Instead, he gets 2 outs. Why don't we throw him back out there? He's not a long relief guy. He's not 5-batter guy. He's outs. He throws the gas, not the ass. Hendricks said he thought the team understood his frustrations. Again, communication issues. Meanwhile, the Red Sox offense, no show. They've been hitting the ball much better and less strikeouts, but oof, those strikeouts came back last night. A season-high 16. 4 of them from Alex Bregman. Woof. He's never struck out 4 times in a game ever in his career. Jarren Duran's 5th-inning sac fly was the lone Red Sox scorer of the night. That's all you need to know. Rafael Devers walked. Bregman struck out. So the Red Sox fall to 2-4 in Crochet's last 6 starts after winning 4 of his first 5 starts. Your thoughts on the Sox, 617-779-0985. Dave's in Sherborne. Dave.
Hey, Joe, how's it going tonight?
Hey, ball.
So I'm talking about maybe we got analytics calling the shots, and then somebody calls down to Cora, tells them, hey, do this, pull out this guy, play this guy. I don't know. I mean, you got a guy in a 1-run tie, and you take him out of the game because he's throwing 85 pitches. I just don't get it. So, I don't know. Somebody's got to be in his ear, Joe.
So I'm not upset about the Crochet innings thing. I just think that the answer to say they have to worry about him later isn't a good answer when you need to win games now.
No, I agree, Joe. And, I mean, the offense, they just can't score any runs. This guy's been a hell of a pitcher, and you can't give him any run support. So, I don't know. I mean, the Red Sox are just a 500 team, and I don't see them getting any better.
I agree with you. I the expectations of them going further are, well, maybe they could go on a heater, but not buying it. Justin and Lynn. Justin.
Hey, Joe. I have a thought for you, Joe. It's you and I talked about this when you were on my show on the Sports Rack, and I told you that I feel it's management running the Red. It's not the management running the Red Sox, and I think it's management, Joe. That's what I think it is. I think it's it's running the safety analytics. I think it's management, and I think it's ownership. That's who it is.
You're right.
I don't think it's Cora.
Oh, see. So I don't know, Justin. Here's my thing. You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Yep.
But is Cora just now taking the job to be a yes man?
He's taking a shot just to say yes to the owner, like the management. Because so when I watched the game last night, he took out Crochet, and then the bullpen comes in and he implodes. And that just can't happen, Joe.
I don't know. I don't know why they brought out Hendricks for the next inning. And thanks, Justin. I don't know why they brought him back out. Like, what's the point of Alex Cora being here if he's just going to be a yes man? Like, I want him to challenge players, challenge people, challenge management. Wasn't that what made him good, or is he just a passenger on a 2018 championship team that was loaded? But I will tell you, he is responsible for a lot of these losses. I know the hitting hasn't been there, but his decision-making's been bad. And if this was the old days, they'd be like, he's blown 7 games already. He needs to go. Vasquez, we'd be hearing Veritek calls today. He needs to go. That's what you'd be hearing. The fellowship of the miserable. He's ruining my summer. That's what it used to be around here. But instead it's, hey, big guy, nice job. Nope, horses in the barn tonight, my man. Nah, we got to worry about you long term, says the big guy upstairs. Don't worry about winning the game. No, we got to worry about you down the line. It's bothering me. I think this is why baseball's losing ratings. They don't leave the guys out there long enough. There's too many pitching changes. You don't really have a relationship with any of the pitchers. It's hard to follow along. There's no attachment. Like, you think I want to watch Trevor Story every night? Just bring up the young guys. Seriously. Let's start now winning games or learning how to win and have an attachment to these guys, because if that's all it is wait till you see Roman Anthony. Oh, this Marcelo Mayer kid. Oh. How about you do it now? 617-779-0985. We can do more baseball if you want. There was a game last night that happened while we were on the air, and it was wild. We got to recap it. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox postponed tonight. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow, 1:15 and 7 o'clock. Brian Bayo goes in Game 1. Lucas Giolito will go in Game 2. Got Game 2s in the playoffs tonight. NBA Oklahoma City up 1-0 over Minnesota, and the Panthers get a 1-0 lead. right, back here on 98 Sports. Man, back in 2008, Fenway was packed. I think this is a day game, too. Uke at the plate. He looks like a monster, dude. He's huge. See, I didn't think of him like that compared to Manny and Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looks like bigger than all the athletes now. I don't know if Skaz has this on or not, but. And look at him. Oh, he takes it the other way to the gap. Oh! An RBI, Mike Lowell chugs around third base.
Look at that hustle.
Remember he had what do you have, a back injury? Lowell's almost out of the league.
Juan Soto could learn a thing or two about that hustle right there.
Oh, yeah. He got pissed that he got dropped in the lineup.
Wah.
Skaz, who runs the Red Sox?
Wally, Joe? I honestly don't know. I thought it was Alex Cora. I thought it was, Craig Breslow, John Henry. I don't know. For years we were told Larry Lucchino runs the Red Sox. Are they missing Larry? Are they missing, a guy like that that kind of just solely focuses on the team? I don't know. Look, I've never been an Alex Cora guy. I didn't want them to bring him back in the first place. We've done this. We got in trouble for saying how bad Cora was, and then they went on a little run, and we got blawed. But Cora's an infielder. He's supposed to be good at defense. His team's supposed to be aware. They suck at fielding. They suck at running the bases. It's the same things over and over again. So, yeah, I'm not an Alex Cora guy. I don't think it's all his fault. They don't have a first baseman. Tristan Cassis went down. But at some point, he's got to take some blame for something.
How about this one? Remember when they didn't intentionally walk Vlad Guerrero? They faced him instead.
Whose decision is that?
Cora. But, who was it? What was it?
But that's the thing. We don't know because Cora's going to deflect to the front office and the analytics.
That's what I'm saying. You and I can sit here and tell you they've probably blown 7 games this year. You know what the problem with this team has been, by the way? Early starts. Wasn't that why everybody got behind the Red Sox this year? Well, look at the schedule. They play the White Sox 21 times or something like that. Well, I forget how many times it was. But do you know how many people said that to me this year? I still took the under because I whenever there's steam, just like the Patriots, I'm on there. Never follow the steam, guys. Never.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to say this is a very important weekend for the Red Sox. The Baltimore Orioles, I know.
They just
Joe,
fired their manager, right?
It's May 22nd.
Got to get behind the fired manager.
That's, the dead cat bounce there maybe for the Orioles. But the Orioles have been probably the most disappointing team in baseball. I know Red Sox fans may feel that the Red Sox have been kind of disappointing, but the Orioles have been an absolute disaster. Fired their manager because they didn't invest in any starting pitching. They're, trotting out, 40-year-old Charlie Morton or whoever else they have. I don't even know at this point, but this is a series the Red Sox have to take advantage of. Bayo going in Game 1, some criticism of that because, he's a vampire. Giolito in Game 2. So you got to beat up on this bad Orioles team. This is a team, like you just said, fired their manager, has been reeling. They're 13 and a half games back already, May 22nd. So it's a sneaky big weekend, I think, for the Red Sox.
Do you think that maybe they don't want another manager here for the things that I mentioned? That they're worried about down the line so much?
What do you mean?
Like Cora, took out Crochet last night because they're worried about his contract. They're worried about their long-term investment. Like, if you need to win games, wouldn't you throw him back out there?
I understand, where you're coming from, but I have no issues with taking, you let him face Soto.
Yep.
85 pitches. It was 45 degrees and raining last night.
You're right. I actually don't. It would have been 3 games in a row of 100 pitches.
If this was,
I get it.
July, August, different scenario. I don't need him going, 3 in a row with 100-plus pitches in 45-degree weather.
Do you think another manager that's fighting for his job puts him back out there?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely a possibility, but at this, then. Is that good too, though?
Well, this is where we're at.
Yeah,
you got the yes man doing what the team wants him to do, and maybe from upstairs they know that the team isn't ready either. So keep saying, okay, when we're ready. Well,
Another thing, this kind of but do you think Cora wants the kids up here? I know the players don't. Tristan Cass has told us that they should never come up here, basically, that they don't deserve to. But do you think Cora wants Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer on this team? Mayor?
Do you know why I think he doesn't? Because he has to work. Is that a bad thing for me to say?
No, but I think it just kind of it's kind of in line with the Crochet thing where you're like, oh, well, he's looking at the long term. The most frustrating thing about the Red Sox is they've told us to be patient. They told us to wait. 2 years, 3 years, it feels like, of waiting. The kids are coming. We're going to spend money. We'll invest in the team when the kids are ready. You know, the pipeline, best prospects in baseball, all that. Well, wasn't this supposed to be the year where, you know, they started coming up and making a difference? And Campbell's been great. I put, zero, they got him playing, the new kid that's rookie of the month can play 3 different positions in 2 weeks, but your $300 million DH is going to throw a hissy fit because they asked him to maybe play first base. So the Red Sox, they're dysfunctional. They don't know what they want to be. They keep telling us, wait. The kids are going to save us. They're going to save everything. Well, where are the kids?
Deep down in my gut, I do think Cora wants him to come up because he can start. Like, he can be a manager again. I think right now he's a babysitter.
Oh, so he's going to be less of a babysitter when the 20-year-olds are up here?
I wonder if they're better. Like,
well, I think they might be more mature than a Tristan Cassis
what I mean,
and
though,
Rafael Devers.
He wants Trevor Story to do well, but like may do well. Like these Roman Anthony.
Joe, I want $1 million. That's about as realistic as Trevor Story being good right now.
I know, but I think that's what he's doing. Hey, we got to give this guy a shot. I bet you he's got a checklist of things to say about it.
Keep holding your breath. It'll turn around. Don't worry. God.
Yeah. Now I feel like right now I am realizing that he's a yes man. He's not managing. It's coming from someone above. I mean, at least like the Oakland A's told you, we're broke and we need to do this, right? Like, the Red Sox have been telling us that there are guys coming along. They also told us they wanted to compete for a playoff. And that's not happening. I know when you look at the Red Sox from afar here, why don't the Red Sox spend money? Cheap? No, they're not cheap this year. They spent money. Oh, the Red Sox. The Red Sox strike out a ton. Their hitting approach is not good. Some of the players they have are outwashed. Those are all true. Like are they really like a cohesive unit? No. They're not. They could not make the playoffs this year, and Alex Bregman can be like, man, I'm out. See ya. Then you get the Devers problem again. But hey, those kids that keep coming up, though. Let's keep telling you about the kids that are on their way. 617-779-0985. John, he's in Medford. What's up, John?
Yeah, I just think that, with the first base position open, them not putting Campbell at first or even Story at first to get one of these kids up is just ridiculous. Or even Weiler Abreu at first to try to get Roman Anthony up is just something to get these kids in the lineup would be awesome.
So this is my point, is that I think they don't care about winning right now.
It seems there must be some tactic behind it to keep these kids in Worcester. I have no idea.
John, that's what I mean. Like, okay, I think they want to win, right? Like, they want to win. Like, they show up, let's win today. But I really think what they're doing is they're just showing up and managing every day. They're managing the players, hey, you're going to get this day off. And, hey, you're going to play here today. And then, you're going to come out of the bullpen 3 times this week. And, we're only going to let you pitch 85. They're just managing everybody's, role.
Is there like a financial aspect to it with keeping these guys down there? I have no idea.
Yes. Think about it.
No, I'm saying with Roman Anthony. I'm saying with Roman Anthony and Marcelo. Is there like a financial aspect?
No, they'll make
these guys not being in the lineup and seeing whoever Harry Hambone at first base every day is starting to get ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it's almost as if Do they does some number tell you, hey, they're one game under 500, but a little run here or a run there, like it's not ready to make the move yet. Like this is what I hate crapping on analytics. I hate doing it, but like I don't know. There used to be hunches in baseball, right? Like a manager would have a hunch. Hey, I'm going to pinch hit this guy and it'd work. I think Kirk Gibson was a hunch, and he had a home run in the World Series. You know what I'm saying? The guy couldn't walk. I think the days of the hunch and trying to win games are over. Everything else is about managing the egos and personality.
Yeah, I mean, I think the older teams bringing up Ellsbury and Pedroia and those teams that brought up young guys at the right moment when they had an open spot is exactly what we need to be doing right now.
Dude,
and that's all I'll say. Thank you.
Yeah, Xander Bogaerts did it in 2013. Moved to third base and did it. Jim's in Florida. Jim.
Hey, listen. I think the problem with Cora really goes back to that whole conflict that existed between Bloom and Cora. You know, they were really at odds with one another, and when it came out to be that Cora was the guy that they were going to choose, well, for a period of time, it looked like we were going to go away from that sabermetric way of doing things. And what did they do? They hired Breslow. So, to me, I think Cora should be the guy. Like I remember there was talk about him being a coach / general manager.
Yep.
And I thought that was a good idea.
Jim, I pitched the idea of Cora GM, Carlos Beltran manager.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen because of Beltran.
Well, it's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
But if it had happened, I think right now you'd be seeing an entirely different Red Sox team.
Well, Jim, what bothers you more? The pitching staff throwing less fastballs or the hitting approach?
Ooh. Well, they both bother me.
Do you know what I'm saying? Who the hell's running this thing? Whose ideas are these?
Yeah. But the thing is, you have to go. I go back to where the original mistake was made. And I think the original mistake was made when they didn't give Cora the ball and say, you're in charge. Instead, they just brought in another stats guy. And at that, I think about what had to have been going through Cora's mind when they hired Breslow. It's like, oh, my God. I've been feuding with this guy Bloom for God knows how long. They get rid of him, and they bring another guy in just like him. So,
you're right, Jim. I don't know what I'm frustrated more with now. Oh God, Intern Josh, what happened to the Knicks?
Joe, nothing good happened to the Knicks last night. Tom Thibodeau was unfortunately terrible down the stretch, and just got outcoached by Rick Carlisle. Unfortunately. I was yelling at my TV, asking him to call a timeout after that third Nesmith 3 in a row, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" What I was like, we've seen the Pacers steal games before, and I was praying that it wouldn't happen to the Knicks, and it did last night, and that was probably the most crushing defeat that I felt in a while as a Knicks fan, Joe.
Mm-hmm. You still? How do you feel about the series?
I still think it's Knicks in 7 because, as good as Aaron Nesmith is, I don't think he's doing that again. And also that Tyrese Halliburton shot at the end of the game was something else. The fact that it bounced 10 feet off the rim and then fell perfectly in, I can't explain it.
Clutch player right there, you know?
Yeah, arguably, he's been arguably more clutch than the clutch player of the year, Jalen Brunson.
Whoa.
And I'll say that even as a Knicks fan.
Wow.
He has been recently. Because although I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a basketball fan at the end of the day. And I got to say, Joe, he has possibly been more clutch, especially in the playoffs when it comes to hitting shots like that.
Do you miss the show now that you're not here?
Oh, I absolutely do, Joe. I miss working. I really do.
Do you feel like you have the edge now and the hunger and the hunker down to get it done yourself now?
Yeah, absolutely. I put out absolutely. I put out a clip about the Knicks. I used a green screen effect on TikTok. So I did some of that. I put out my instant reaction like you told me to, start putting out those instant reactions. So I did. And then, we're going to get the podcast started up again. And then I'm going to use StreamYard like you taught me. And then what else? Oh, yeah. I'm doing the sideline reporting gig too. So we're going to use all the technical skills that you and Skaz taught me. We're going to roll it all into one and continue to diversify my portfolio of skills.
All right. Well, you're going to be our source for the Knicks Pacers series. So,
all right, sounds good. I'll be calling in, Joe.
You got it, bro. Thank you very much. It's intern Josh checking in. You know what I liked about that? Very unbiased. He did say we a couple of times, but you know.
I was texting Josh last night. That was I know we'll get into it in a little bit, but that was as good of a basketball game as you're probably literally ever going to watch. Like that was some incredible theater.
You guys had a reaction to it. I didn't believe it.
There was a pop. There was a pop in the back room here.
All right, well, the Red Sox stuff's still on the table. There was somebody last night in the game. That game we're referencing, New York Knicks, Pacers. Former Celtic great. Tell you who that was coming up next. And first, this hour of the sports has been brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. You can save 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. We'll talk to you right after this.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way. Studios, WNBA HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Paisley Media Group Station.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox postponed tonight. They'll have a doubleheader tomorrow, one at 1:35, the other at 7. Brian Bayo goes in Game 1. Lucas Giolito will go in Game 2. Game 2s in the NHL and NBA tonight. Panthers Hurricanes Game 2. Panthers lead that series 1-0. And Wolves and Thunder will tip off tonight at 8:30. Patriots OTAs continued today. Ramondre Stevenson was back at practice. He's been away for the death of his father. And the 12-team college football playoff will move to a straight seeding model this fall. It's rewarding, the selection committee's top 4 teams with the top 4 seeds and a first-round bye. How about that? Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss Golden's program. Awaken 180's medication-free, fast weight loss solution for those over 60. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5, the Sports Hub app. Get the app.
I am having a very, very bad morning. Look in my face. I'm not in a very good mood. Now, it's supposed to be orange and blue skies. It was supposed to be orange and blue skies, okay? But as you can see, there's rain descending down upon us. Thunder. Yes, I'm in OKC, but damn it, I'm talking about the New York Knicks. You saw what happened last night. They were in the lead. They had a 17-point lead. And then my assistant, Sumatra, started clapping and celebrating like the world was ours. She got cocky. And the rest of the Knicks sensed it. And so did Karl Anthony Towns. And so did Jalen Brunson. And so did everybody else. And suddenly everything collapsed. And I'm sitting here now. So I'm just warning y'all today. I am not in a very good mood at all. At all. Molly, I'm warning you, this is not the day to mess with me. First takes in the house. Let's go.
The Celtics, too, if you remember. And this ain't no victory lap. I've taken my L already. I've already rooted for the Pacers. Skaz and I have told you the team to worry about in the Eastern Conference all year long was who, Skaz? Who have we been telling everybody is the team to watch this year in the Eastern Conference?
That would be the Indiana Pacers, Joe.
Consistent all year long. All year long. And what happened last night? Hallie. But remember old friend, former Celtic legend Aaron Nesmith was the best shooter in the draft. Danny Ainge was all over him. He had an ankle injury. He ran with like a chicken with his head cut off, right? Isn't that how he ran around? That dude had no control. I heard how good of a three-pointer shooter he was. Dude was just dribbling everywhere.
I believe Cedric Maxwell gave him the nickname Crash Nesmith.
Yes.
Is what he was referred to as.
He would just get the ball and fly and crash. Exactly. But you know what? I think Danny Ainge saw something in the kid, though. So hats off to Aaron Nesmith, a player that was traded away and is having a good career. And listen, he did things last night that some other players have never done in NBA history. How many points did he score in the fourth quarter? 20?
Yeah, I believe so.
I got it here. And I wanted to discuss Aaron Nesmith for a little bit here because you have to trade players away to get good players. It's what happens. It's what you got to do. New York scored 31 points. Aaron Nesmith had 20 in the fourth quarter. Excuse me. The Pacers had 23 points in the final 3:14 of regulation. It's the most in the final 3:14 of regulation of a playoff game since 1997. But just getting back to Aaron Nesmith quickly, he did some things last night that have never been done. First player in NBA history to make 6 3-point field goals in a fourth quarter of a playoff game. You know, only 6 players have made 6 threes in a quarter. Did you know that Antoine Walker did it back in 2002 versus the Nets? How about Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Michael Porter, Steph Curry? How about those guys?
I'd say pretty good list.
Pretty good. So they had to trade Aaron Nesmith to the Pacers along with a bunch of crap.
It was Aaron Nesmith, Daniel Tice, Malik Fitz, Juwan Morgan, Nick Stauskas, and a 23 first-round pick for Malcolm Brogdon, who the Celtics, you make that trade. You won Sixth Man of the Year. You were trying to win a title.
I make that trade all day long.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did that trade turn into?
Drew Holiday, eventually. You win a title.
You got Malcolm Brogdon, Drew Holiday, and won a title.
Don't even think about it.
Don't even look at it. And not for nothing, but he's now playing to the Aaron Nesmith. How many years in the league is he now? So was that? Probably 5? 6 maybe? But, Skaz, isn't that what we always say about these players? Some of them don't really get going until their mid-20s.
Yeah, he was drafted in 2020. First round, 14th overall pick.
What age is he? I'm going to say 26, 27 now. 25. Wow. All right, but I know we use it generally when winning a championship, right? Isn't that like most guys don't win a championship until they're 25. Well, how about just becoming a player who's developed and good at 25? Like, can we, the NBA, Skaz, like we were just talking about with the Red Sox, the NBA, if you don't win right away, you're fired. Right? How many guys have won championships the next year? It's disappointing they can. But I'm saying there are guys in situations that have deals because they want guys to develop. Look at Charles Lee, right? Well, they want LaMelo Ball. Or it's not, which ball is there right now? LaMelo, right? They want all those guys they drafted to develop. Like, they're there to lose but develop. And hopefully they can hit on some veterans in free agency to help surround those guys. But there's a lot of coaches in the league that are around just to help develop players. Rick Carlisle, dude, was he there to develop players? Like, when you think about it, they've drafted well. Between Nesmith and Mathurin and Nembhard, trading for Tyrese Halliburton, like, they kept Miles Turner. How many times has Miles Turner been on the trade block?
Every year.
Every year.
Literally, it feels like every year Miles Turner's going somewhere. The Celtics, it felt like for a number of years.
Is Pascal Siakam one of the most underrated players in the NBA? Probably, right?
Yeah, I think Celtics
all-star,
fans,
but not all-pro or anything like that,
Celtics fans probably a little bit of a warped perception of him because Jaylen Brown used to just give him the business every time they played.
By the way, what was the anniversary last night?
Last night was Jaylen hitting the 3 in the corner.
In whose face?
Over Pascal Siakam.
And what happened?
The Celtics won the series.
Game 1 at home, right? Or forced it into overtime and won. Changed the whole series, right?
Yes, and I know, all we heard was, the path was easy. The path was easy. Pretty good Pacers team. And you were up 2-0 on the Pacers when Halliburton got hurt.
Yes.
You were up 3-1 on the Cavs when Donovan Mitchell got hurt.
Yes.
Just for facts. Just saying. That
was the tap from last year. But again, the Celtics tapped out to the Knicks.
Absolutely.
So I got
choked.
I got to eat that one.
They choked and tapped. Not a good combo.
Knicks, though, what they do? Choke and tap. Just game 1, though. Just game 1. Choke and tap. Oh, Celtics choked and tap. Oh, no. Oh, the New York team. Oh, yeah. Chokers, tappers. Game 1. But you know what? Shout out to Aaron Nesmith. And Skaz, you had a list of, you can look back on it. Danny Ainge was very good at finding talent that could be at least NBA prospects to trade and gain other talents. What are some of those picks? I don't need Smith.
Yeah, so since 2013, Danny Ainge drafted Kelly Olynyk, 13th overall.
Still in the league.
Marcus Smart, 6th overall.
Still in the league.
Terry Rozier, 16th overall.
Cheater.
Jaylen Brown and Tatum back-to-back years.
They're pretty good.
Rob Williams.
Hey, he's all right.
Grant Williams. And then in the 20 draft, he drafted Nesmith 14th and Pritchard 26th.
Oh!
And there's also, Gershon Yabusele's in there, who's back in the league. Carson Edwards, Tremont Waters were later picks. Romeo Langford was a guy, but they ended up using him.
They got a trade for him, though.
To get Derek White.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So Danny Ainge did all right. Drafted some guys that can at least play in the league with picks where you don't usually get those guys.
All right. We're going to talk to Kendra Middleton coming up in a little bit. See what she's got going on. But Red Sox are on the table. Celtics are on the table. Dan's in Rhode Island. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan. Waited all that time.
It felt like a dump button was coming in the background there.
All right, dude. Well, why don't we do this? I want to talk to Kendra. I want to talk to her about the Wiener 500 tomorrow. You know what? Who knows? We're going to ask Kendra anything because that could be a segment. Somebody want to sponsor? I'm in. I'll help you out. We're here all night long. Hey, guys, guess what? In or out, end of the hour. We got a Musings. I heard all about last night's Musings from a lot of people today. You know what? I feel like tomorrow night's, guys, it's going to be a little light tomorrow, don't you think? I feel like tomorrow night might be like a getaway day,
I mean, Maz was out of the baseball hour today. Getaway Thursday's the new getaway day.
I feel like we maybe should revisit maybe some things from the week. I don't know. We got Street Team Joe tomorrow night, though. Is he all right? What's going on with him?
We'll see. Apparently he's on the injury list. We'll see game time decision tomorrow, but I believe he'll be here.
Okay. I told him to watch some backcracking videos. You ever?
I don't know if that's what I'd be recommending.
Search
to
the
him.
Ring Dinger if you ever get a chance. Oh, it's like a zipper in your back. All right, we'll take a quick break. Kendra Middleton will join us next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Zolak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
He's losing his mind.
And I'm reaping all the benefits. Kendra Middleton joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Hello, Kendra.
Hello, friends.
How are you doing?
I am well. How are you? I'm watching my dog eat cheese off the floor, so that's kind of fun.
We all love cheese. Can't deny the cheese. You know what I mean?
I would eat cheese off the floor.
I would too. I mean, do you ever do are you a 5-second rule person, or is it?
I'm more like a 30-second rule person.
That's right. Because you're from Jacksonville, and you guys.
I was going to say I'm from Florida, and I'm disgusting.
Well, I would never say that about you.
I would.
So it's funny because last night, Skaz and I talked about the new F1 movie, and we talked about the F1 popcorn helmet. And maybe you don't know this about me, but I enjoy bringing a popcorn bucket to a movie. So if it's the Jaws, if it's a Darth Vader helmet, I'm in. Like, give me the helmet, and I will put popcorn in it. So first, tell us about this F1 movie. And are you in or out on the popcorn helmet?
Okay, one, have you ever taken Bunch of Crunch or M&M's or anything and put it in your movie popcorn and shaken it up and letting the chocolate melt and eat it like that?
Mm-hmm. Does a bear crap in the woods?
Yes. Okay, perfect. I knew that you would do that. So this F1 movie, there are some of the actual F1 drivers in it because they were filming during actual races last year, which I thought was insane. I don't expect it to be good at all, but they did do a screening at the Cannes Film Festival this week, and a couple of the drivers were there. And some of them said that it was actually a decent film. My favorite driver in particular, Carlos Sainz, who used to drive for Ferrari last year and now drives for Williams, said that he thought that it was good. It had a lot of the same, Drive to Survive Netflix energy, that he thinks it's going to help the casual F1 fan get into the movie. But during filming last year, a lot of the drivers who were actually having to deal with this car on track during genuine, free practices and stuff like that, were complaining about how much of a pain it was, one of them being Fernando Alonso in particular. So I think that it'll be fine. I expect it to be cheesy. Am I going to go see it? Yeah. Am I going to get a popcorn bucket? Yes. Will anything ever beat the Dune popcorn bucket? No. But am I also going to eat my cereal out of that thing for the rest of forever? Duh.
Yep. I mean, I saw the Eras Tour, and I brought home my Eras Tour bucket of popcorn because, you know what? Why not? I got another one for you. I have never been to the Indy 500. I've been to Indianapolis. I've been to the Hoosier Dome. And the Indy 500 is like a real thing. I used to work the Indy 500s on radio, believe it or not.
Wow.
Well, whenever they wanted to do local commercials, I had to pot it down and pot the locals up. So that was about it. It was just a lot of hours of just race car driving. But do you watch this thing? I know it's a pretty big deal. Have you ever been to the Indy 500?
So I haven't been to the Indy 500. I'm actually shockingly not a huge NASCAR person, especially considering I grew up 45 minutes from Daytona. But I will watch the Daytona race every year. I keep up with it a little bit. It's not for me. I like the glitz and the glamour of F1. I want to travel. I like street circuits. That's why I prefer Formula One. But there's so much press surrounding this year that I might actually watch it if I have time. But it is the same week as Monaco, which Monaco is like the creme de la creme of motorsport. I just think it's silly for them to have both going on at the same time.
Yeah, I told you when we went out to Vegas, I saw that F1 track that was there. And all the locals said that it was impossible to get around because it was that packed. Like, if they come to Vegas, I guess it's must see. And I think there's re-entry at some of these events too. So like you can tailgate, go back in or out. Is that true with that one? I know you can do it with NASCAR.
Yeah, if you get like a weekend pass, you can do that, which I think is pretty cool. I think my favorite thing about the Vegas race, though, is if you look at the track, it looks like Spider Pig.
Really?
Yeah, Google the F1 Las Vegas track, and it literally looks like an upside-down pig.
It's across the street from the Sphere, too, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I need to get out to the Sphere. But I really want to go to the Vegas race. I have potentially an opportunity to this year. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm going to cross all my fingers and toes. I would like to get into the Indy 500 or NASCAR in general, but I just would prefer to watch even Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula E. I don't know what it is. I can't get into American motorsport.
Well, I don't know what we can call this formula, but it's something we've been discussing, and I figured we'd get an expert on the air for this one. But tomorrow will be the inaugural Oscar Mayer Weenie 500. And have you seen the Oscar Mayer Weenie wagon before?
Okay, it's funny that you asked me that because a month ago I was on the phone with my mom and I was driving home from New Hampshire and the Oscar Mayer mobile passed me going north as I was going south. And I screamed so loud. I was so excited to see it that my mom thought that I got in a car accident.
I'd freak out. I would too. I saw the Goodyear blimp in Vegas, and I went, "When was the last time you saw the Goodyear blimp?" So yeah,
you know, there's like 6 blimps in the whole world.
Wow, and I saw one of them.
Yeah, there's genuinely only like 6 or 7. There's really not that many. It's actually a rarity to see a blimp.
All right, well, it's the Oscar Mayer Weenie Mobile. It's going to be hauling hot dog buns to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And they have certain kinds of, so they'll have like a chai dog, a New York dog, a slaw dog, a Saronian dog, a chili dog, and a Seattle dog. And did you know that you could bet on this?
I didn't, but Boris texted me today asking if he could, and I didn't know.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you can on might have to
DraftKings or something, yeah.
Call Mr. Pickles maybe, but do you know how fast was that Wienermobile going when you saw it?
I gotta say, like at least 70.
Whoa! So one of the things is, could it get over 101 miles per hour? What do you think?
Wow. Yo, I had no idea Wiener could go that fast.
Me either.
That is fast.
And where do you think the weight is? Do you think it's on like the front of the car? Is it weighted down from the roof? There's weight on there.
No, because I feel like if you brake too hard in that thing, then like the Wiener's going to flip over.
Okay. Well, you can bet on, will any Wienermobile spin out? Yes or no?
Wow.
I'm going to go yes.
I'm going to go yes as well. Boris had a brilliant idea today when I was texting him about it. He said, what if the LL Bean boot and the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile had a race? And I was like, that could probably sell out the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Absolutely. I'd drive up there. I'd broadcast from there.
I would spend an embarrassing amount of money to watch that. Embarrassing amount of money.
All right, here's the big one. And by the way, you can stream this. I think I'm going to stream it live, I think. Tomorrow.
What time is it at?
I think it's 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock on the Fox Sports app, I believe it is. But
only the Fox Sports app? You can't watch it anywhere else?
I don't know, but I at the moment, because who knows? This thing's starting to pick up some steam now.
There's got to be like a Streamlabs for this.
Yep. What condiment will be sprayed on the winner for the trophy celebration? Ketchup, mustard, mayo, barbecue, or another condiment?
I'm going to go mustard because, one, I feel like it's safe enough. It's a classic. It's not ketchup. I think everyone will assume ketchup. And I feel as though the guy in Buffalo who lets people spray mustard at him has inspired the world to also spray mustard.
Will the winning driver cry?
I would. That's such an honor.
Me too. Maybe that could get you into the Nathans. Or is that like a infringement because it's Oscar Mayer?
Oh, true.
Remember
That's
they
a
wouldn't
good
let
question.
they wouldn't let Jaws again, the Joey Chestnut, because he wanted vegan hot dogs.
Yeah, that's true. I never watched the Kobayashi versus him on Netflix. Did you?
I have not, but you know what? I remember I've watched them eat a lot of hot dogs in my day, and I don't think I need to see it anymore.
I love the hot dog eating contest. Is that not your thing? Because I watch it every single year.
Well, I used to bet on it every July 4th. It was the only thing to bet on. But this year, there was controversy this year. Kendra Middleton joining us. Kendra, Hard Knocks, are you a fan, and are you interested in the Buffalo Bills being on Hard Knocks?
I'm a huge Hard Knocks fan, but I have cheaped out and not had HBO for the last 2 years because I'm trying to stick it to the man and not pay for all these streaming services. But because it's an AFC East team, and I think I would be doing a disservice to the people and not doing my job if I didn't watch this season, I'm probably going to do a month trial of HBO, watch it, and then cancel it because I'm a real one.
Twitter anyways. You'll be able to see it on there anyways.
Yeah, maybe, but I stand on business. I feel like I got to watch it.
Do you think that people support the Buffalo Bills for their lack of winning for the last 30 years?
I think that they have truly become America's sweetheart in the last 5 or 6 years for whatever reason.
Yeah, and Skaz brought this up, but if you're going to have the Buffalo Bills on, don't you have to do Bills Mafia?
You absolutely have to do Bills Mafia because without Bills Mafia, nobody cares about the Bills. Like, I get that they probably have become so popular because everybody loves Josh Allen. He's such a sweetheart, blah, blah, blah. But it's more so Bills Mafia and their tailgates that I think put them on the radar.
That's true. I mean, they are a good football team. They got the MVP. He dates a supermodel, right? He just turned 29 years old. He's got a big-time contract. They lost on a controversial call that now they'll be, I guess robot umps this year. No more chain gang. So I maybe Buffalo has impacted the game, but I think they're going to get support because, how many guys do you know? Like James Cook, like you probably know Keon Coleman. But Joey Bosa is a new, free agent signing there. But the thing is, Buffalo's good, but do you know all the players? And I think that's where it could help.
Yeah, I mean, someone like you and I and, the average, sports fan probably. But I genuinely feel like, yes, it's the star power of Josh Allen and, Joey Bosa and whatever that's getting them there. And it's a good team, so it's obviously going to bring more viewership because usually the Hard Knocks that we get is not a good team. But I genuinely feel like the virality and all of that surrounding them is all Bills Mafia. I went to the Bills-Jags game last year, and I thought the Jags tailgates were good. I've been to tons of games all over the country, but in comparison, I've never been to anything like a tailgate in Buffalo. I shotgunned a beer out of a prosthetic leg.
Whoa! We have a listener named Einbein. Paul is his name.
Oh, I know him in the YouTube chat.
Yeah,
I hop in
that's
there.
him. Yeah. Wow. So you would chug a beer out of his leg?
Absolutely. I already have. I mean, not his leg, but a prosthetic leg.
Wow.
I have a video.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You know what? You're fearless.
I tried.
What'd you think of the New York Knicks last night?
I have a confession that might get me canceled. I think that Boston fans should be cheering for the New York Knicks as much as they hate them because it makes the Celtics look better if the Knicks win a title because you got beat by the champions.
Oh, it makes it worse, no doubt. Like them losing.
I think
Pacers.
that they should be.
Yeah, them losing to the Pacers makes it worse. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it would be embarrassing. Are you kidding?
I will say this though. I credit New York because they were more resilient and they outplayed this. I give them credit. But
me too. You have to.
But I don't have to root for them now. I'm Pacers all the way, man.
That's crazy.
I've always liked Aaron Nesmith, former Celtic great. Rick Carlisle played for the Celtics. I don't know. Did the coach outcoach the other coach last night? Are we finding out that coaching matters in the NBA?
I have a tinfoil hat theory that it might be the next year because everybody else left as a small market team, and that would be so bad for basketball.
Not to mention the Pope. New Pope.
True.
For real, though.
Coaching does matter, in my opinion, though.
That's where I was going with it. I think it's really... I don't think it was like that for a while, but now with the salary cap and things becoming a little bit more... what's the word? Parity? The Celtics were the best team. Let's face it. They had the best roster this year. But did they have the best...
Without a doubt.
They have the best coaching philosophy? Probably not.
No, definitely not the best coaching philosophy. Definitely not the best coach. McCarthy and I got into it last week about how it's just embarrassing that it has even gotten that far because if you go back 2 seasons ago, the big question at the end of the season was, can he coach? And there were points, before the postseason last year where people still heading into that season were like, okay, maybe this is that this was a bad idea. And then the only reason people didn't continue to question him heading into this year was that he won, even though the strategy to win might not have been the best thing ever. And now you're going into another season with the same questions you had going into last year before they won a title. Can he coach? Does he know when to call a timeout? Can he pivot? Is his ego too big? And it's just this continuous question that I feel like fans here are going to have.
All right, Kendra, I got one more for you. And I hate to bring up the Jaguars when I talk to you, but this take is more of a Patriots take, okay?
Okay.
I feel that maybe some should temper expectations about Drake May in his second year. So I looked at quarterbacks that were drafted and how they did in their first year and what they did in their second year. The best of the group is Justin Herbert. He struggled his first year, but he followed it up with 5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns. The next was Trevor Lawrence. He had 17 interceptions his rookie year and 9 fumbles. They went 3-14. It's almost on pace of what Drake May would have done in the full season. But Trevor Lawrence bounced back, 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 12 fumbles. The team went 9-8. Where do you see Drake May in his second year? Closer to Trevor Lawrence or closer to Justin Herbert?
I'm going to say closer to Trevor Lawrence just because I don't think that even though going out and getting Stephon Diggs is an addition, it's not a huge splash. And yeah, you added to the offensive line, but it's still a rookie that you went and got in the draft in the first round. So do I think he's going to... Here's the thing. Do I think that there is a possibility of regression in the C.J. Stroud sense and the fact that he had, a great first season and then some regression his second season? Yes, I don't expect... Obviously, he didn't have the same year that C.J. did his rookie year, but I expect it to probably be closer to Justin Herbert, but his numbers probably look more like C.J. Stroud last year, just without the postseason. I just don't think that Stephon Diggs is a big enough addition. I think that they probably needed to. The other thing that I think is going to be huge is them getting rid of a lot of the captains and stuff like that. I think that that's big for a rookie, is like once you get rid of a lot of that seniority that had been there for a while, especially when you get rid of someone like David Andrews and stuff like that. I think that that is probably going to hurt him more than people expect. I would say his ceiling is Justin Herbert, obviously, but probably closer to Trevor Lawrence just because I don't think that they did enough at receiver to really help him.
Yeah, the other quarterbacks I did that with was Brock Purdy, who in his second year had 31 touchdowns, 4,000 yards.
Yeah, but the talent out there, is not.
So then I went to C.J. Stroud. First year was great, 23-5. Last year took a step back in the second year, 20-12. Got sacked 52 times. And then the other one was Bryce Young. Bryce Young struggled, got benched his second year, but finished with 15 touchdowns and 9 interceptions and 5 fumbles. So I think Drake May will be better than that. I just think the two people to at least look at who've been drafted and are having that second year, it's Lawrence and Herbert.
Yeah, I just wish that they did more to go out there and get him some weapons.
8.5, that's the number. I'm going under.
Me too, I'm going under. I gave it out last week.
The steam, I can't follow the steam.
And you know what? Like, there's just too much change. And I get that the schedule is easy, but there's just too much change for them to make that big of a jump this year. Are they going to be better? Yes, because they are better. But that's the thing, is that I don't think that they can make that. Everyone's talking about, winning 10 games. Definitely the ceiling, but I see probably 7 wins is the most realistic option for them.
All right, Kendra. So you're doing Saturday mornings now. It's all Kendra all the time?
It's all Kendra for an hour, and then sometimes I'm on with McCarthy Bar if we're tossing people around. I'm only on for an hour this Saturday, but I'm back doing the We're Under show for an hour, and then on till 11 with McCarthy next week. I think we're just switching stuff up for the holiday this week.
That's right.
I am going to Boston Calling on Saturday, though. So,
ooh, who are you looking forward to seeing?
Okay, are you in on the conspiracy theory that Avril Lavigne is not Avril Lavigne, it's this girl Melissa, because Avril Lavigne died in the early 2000s?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know about this, Joe? It is the easiest rabbit hole to ever go down in your entire life. Avril Lavigne is not Avril Lavigne, it's actually this girl named Melissa.
So is it kind of like if Ozzy Osbourne died, but they just threw somebody else out there and said it was Ozzy, and he kind of sounded like?
Yes, this girl looks nothing like OG Avril, sounds nothing like her, acts nothing like her, speaks nothing like her. This is Avril Lavigne died in like 2005.
That happened with Tupac too, I think.
Yeah, maybe they're both eating banana sandwiches with Elvis in like the Bahamas.
What did Avril Lavigne sing?
Skater Boy.
I was a skater boy.
That whole album is so good. That was my depression album when I was like 7 on my CD player.
He was a boy, he was a girl.
Great music video if you've never seen it.
Well, I hope you enjoy Boston Calling.
Thank you. I will probably be in a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey.
The weather will be better, hopefully.
Nope, I think it's going to be horrendous.
Wow. I know a guy there if you need a hand.
Okay.
Maybe
I'll take you up on that.
We know, well, maybe what I meant by well, you don't want to be covered. You want to be in the crowd in the mix.
No, I want to be in the back eating food sitting on the lawn.
Okay, then. With cheese.
So much cheese.
All right, Kendra. Well, the Weenie 500's tomorrow. I'll be...
we'll be in touch. I'll have my people call your people.
All right, we'll do it. Enjoy...
Wait, which dog are we gambling on?
Oh... Well, let's talk this out for a second. The New York dog I'm out on.
Out on New York dog.
I don't like coleslaw.
You don't? That doesn't surprise me.
The chili dog now, I could eat a chili dog. But I feel like it might
I'm
be
not
weighed.
on the chili dog.
See, that's what I'm saying. It might be weighed down a little. What about the Seattle dog?
I was going to say Seattle dog might be my pick.
What's this Sonoran dog?
I have no idea. You're gonna have to ask Google or ChatGPT.
A Sonoran hot dog is a geez, I don't even know. It's a Northwest Mexican hot dog with bacon.
Nope, I'm going with the Seattle dog.
You know what? I'm with you.
All right,
and
book it.
I like Seattle music from the grunge era, so.
Nirvana, are they from Seattle? No, they're from like Oregon or something.
You know what also Avril Lavigne did? Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
Yep. That's actually Avril. That wasn't Melissa.
Does she still wear like that white shirt with a tie?
I guess we'll find out.
She married one of the Nickelback guys, Chad.
She's married to a guy from Nickelback? I love Nickelback. How did I not know this?
Yeah, her and Chad Kroger.
What?
Hang on. Chad Kroger, Avril Lavigne. Yes, they had a wedding and everything and a divorce.
Holy cannoli. I had no idea.
They met while working together on Lavigne's 5th album in 2012.
Wow, I'm about to go down such a rabbit hole.
They got married in France.
Wow. You're going to have to look into this Melissa thing, and I'll let you know if she wears the wife beater on Saturday.
There you go. She's Kendra Middleton, everybody. Check her out on Saturday, 7 a.m. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. here on the Sports Hub. Got to get that one right, Kendra. Thank you.
Happy ladies' night, boys. Bye.
Hey, take care. She's Kendra, everybody. Say bye-bye. Avril Lavigne's not Avril Lavigne? I haven't thought about her in a long time. Probably a good thing. All right, we got a break. I'm Don and Carver's on hold, so you have to hang on, and I'll get to you after this here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, the Red Sox will play a doubleheader tomorrow because they got rained out tonight. Who was pitching? Well, you would think Brian Bayo in the nightcap, but the vampire goes during the day. Lucas Giolito will go at night. The Panthers are all... Started the show talking about Alex Cora. And Don and Carver's on the line. Thank you for holding, Don. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
How you doing?
Hey, listen, Stephen A., what a ringmaster, huh?
That was great.
I mean, you got to have show business mixed in with the sports.
Yep.
You know, and he's one of the best at it. I wanted to say a couple of things, Joe, if I might. One is that Skaz, when he answered the call from me, I told him Indiana is a lock. Last year, when they played the Celtics, even though they lost to them, they were fast, talented, speedy, aggressive, talented. I said this team is got to be watched out for, and they proved it. And I just think it's a lock. They're going against a slow, plodding team that's coached by a slow, plodding guy. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But and finally, on Alex Cora, I'm confused as anyone else. I'm with you guys as far as where has he gone? When he was being groomed to be a manager, when he played, he was always thought of as a future manager. And his first couple of years, I think he proved that. I think that his decisions were always spot on, and then all of a sudden he became, maybe after the money changed and he got his contract, he's become a prisoner of the Breslow analytics. That's what it seems like.
See, I don't know if it's Brez. I think it's coming from even higher, like not Henry, but below. And if it's about just like, it's like you going to work, Don. If the numbers are there and the KPIs are there, and you just need to make sure that this is what you got to do for the day. How much managing do you have to do? You just have to make sure you hit your numbers. That's it. So like, where's the real managing?
Well, you may be right. You're probably right. All I know is I'm totally confused about the guy. I always thought very highly of him, and this year, that estimate has gone down. I just hope it straightens out.
Well, Don,
Joe, I wanted to call you. You're my boy, my bear whisperer.
That's right.
I tell people that if a bear ever came crashing in through my den window, instead of attacking me, he'd sit down and watch Joe on YouTube like I am
Don,
right now.
It's not show business. It's Joe business.
All right, Joe, you take care.
Enjoy your weekend, my man. That might have been a little corny. Scats is shaking his head back there.
Always good to hear from Don.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like Scott Foster got fouled, huh?
Took a pretty good headshot, bleeding all over the court.
I like that. Is he staying in the game?
Yeah, he's out there. Taped him up, got a little nose plug in.
Nose.
Yeah, a little tissue up the nose.
Oh, yeah. I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, Lou Dort has endeared himself to basketball fans around the world.
So Lou Dort hit a ball off of Scott Foster's face?
No, it was Foster did the jump ball, and when Dort was coming down, he got him with
like a Mario
his
punch
leg
coin?
or his arm. Yeah, he got him pretty good, though, it looked like.
Hell yeah. Did he get a flagrant?
No. Scott Foster's in the way, like usual.
Watch out, OKC.
Yeah, is that a wrangle if Scott Foster takes one in the head?
It's called karma, is what that one's called. Oh, by the way, I sold a Victor Oladipo card this weekend, and I laughed when I saw it, and I was like, nobody understands how much I laughed when I pulled this card. Karma.
Always be a villain to you.
Yep. We're going to do in or out next because we're late. In this hour, the Sports Hub is brought to you by Valvoline and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next Strathroy Oil Change at Valvoline and Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray. In or out next.
What's it going to be, McFly? Are you in or out?
They are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is...
Can we get it?
Why is Travis Scott involved at all? Is Michael like? I have no idea what's going on in the storylines of wrestling, but
I watch.
What is?
I watch. I can't even tell you.
How did he get into this? How is he involved? I don't understand
I think
it.
he's The Rock's friend. I have no clue.
So he wrestles more than The Rock now.
No, he doesn't even wrestle. He comes in and he punches Cody in the face.
So he comes in for. He looks like he weighs maybe 100 pounds soaking wet.
Listen. When the final boss comes in, he just does what he wants because he's part owner. And there's, oh God, The Rock doesn't finish. The Rock hasn't finished his story. Just the only reason why I'm in on this one is because I need Travis Scott with The Rock. But you know who the best celebrity was though? Bad Bunny. He might be. So there's a rumor that it's going to be Travis Scott versus Bad Bunny. So it'll be Cena, Rock, Bad Bunny, and Travis Scott versus blank. And
give me Bad Bunny all day.
Bad Bunny can do flips and stuff. Plus, I don't really know what Bad Bunny's saying, but I like him better than Travis Scott.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. Joe Murray.
I know we're almost up against it because we got Noah coming on. My whole life, I've always kind of changed my cereal. I loved Corn Pops growing up. I love Frosted Flakes. I used to do Honey Smacks, Raisin Bran, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch as an adult. I used to work for TripAdvisor, dude, and they had a cafeteria full of you could make your own oatmeal, you could make your own French toast, and then their options were Raisin Bran, regular flakes, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And dude, I'd get big bowls of Crunch. But now you're telling me that I can put that on top of a Hershey's Kiss? A little chocolate with a little cinnamon and a little cracker? Would you drink milk with it? How often do you drink milk these days, guys?
Never. I'm lactose intolerant.
I think I do it for cereal.
I do like oat milk. I have cereal all the time, so I'm drinking
but you use
oat milk. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. It's good.
Whatever's there, just give it to me. You milk, I don't care if it's oat milk or whatever, just give it to me. In on that one.
Yeah, I'm still I'm
98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. Well, we got into some of the New York Knicks Pacers stuff earlier. And there is news regarding the Celtics today. And we'll certainly get into that right now with Noah Dalzell joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, covers the Celtics, SB Nation, Celtics blog. You're all over the place, Noah. And I know you were playing some hoop today with your 741s. How were they?
They were so comfortable, and I'm kind of picky with basketball shoes, but they were actually, I felt like I had a little bit of a vertical, which is a very unusual feeling for me.
So what, is there like a media game, or what were you invited to?
No, I was just playing. So because the Celtics were eliminated earlier than I expected, I get to play in my off-season basketball league. So it's me, my dad, my brother, and then one of the other reporters plays with us. But we've been playing for a very long time, pretty much since I finished school.
Nice. I got a pair of 741s. I have a size 16. They gave it to me in a size 16 as well. But I have the black ones. But you know what? I haven't worn them. I feel like they look so nice. Like, I don't know if I should wear them.
I know. I literally brought them in the box, and I was like, I can't wear them anywhere else. So I broke them in during the game.
Whoa, you bought them. Wow, God, it's good on you. They sent me a pair, so thank you.
No, they sent me a pair.
All right,
but
good.
I brought them to the game. I brought them to the game in the box. So I feel you as far as not wanting to wear them out or anything like that.
Well, shout out to our buddy Sam at 741 Performance for all his help with it. But there is some news today regarding the Celtics. I know Sportico had it regarding, I guess, new ownership, stakeholder, a new member of Celtics ownership. Could you tell us who that new member is? And I know you have a write-up on it at Celtics blog, but what is he behind? I guess steel and mining?
Yeah, so I did not expect this one, but his name is Aditya Mittal, and I apologize if I mispronounced that, and he is the CEO of the largest steel and mining company in the world. So he comes from one of the wealthiest families in India, and basically, I think fans are excited when they see new money, but really this is just to meet Bill Chisholm's initial bid. So obviously the Celtics were sold for $6.1 billion. This is $1 billion of that. And so not all of the money was guaranteed initially. So we're kind of putting the pieces together of who are the other owners going to be. And Bill has been the face of this ownership group. And, I've met him. He's a very nice guy. He's a lifelong Celtics fan. He's been around with his family and everything. But there's going to be other people behind it. And this guy is going to most likely be the second biggest owner, according to the reports that I read today, at least. And there's going to be others, too. So we'll kind of figure all the pieces are kind of coming together here.
All right, so I don't know much, so I'm trying to just connect some dots here. But a new owner, well, I guess a $1 billion owner of the $6 billion, is the largest steel and mining company. So could that potentially involve building a new stadium?
I think it's definitely on the table just because there's a new ownership group. I don't know that today's news shifted me in one direction over another, but it's. I would imagine that at a certain point, there's a new ownership group. They're going to want to maximize their earnings from ticket sales and all those things. And right now, obviously, it's not the Celtics arena. But from what we've heard from Bill, and he's been limited opportunities to speak with him so far, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen anytime soon. It doesn't sound to me, at least, that there's any rush for that. But obviously, anything can happen. But right now, I'm hopeful that it stays in TD Garden because I love TD Garden and I love that location. But I would imagine you're just thinking from a business standpoint that it's something that they want to do in the coming years.
All right, no, I think I saw you on a panel today. I think you were with John Zanis and Sherrod Blakely and Bobby Manning, our good friend. I think the question was asked, are the stakeholders in charge of the Celtics? Are they at the moment?
Yeah, so when Brad Stevens sat down, we had the exit interview with him on Monday, and he didn't say much about the future. In fact, when he sat down, the first thing he said was, I'm not going to get into the future right now, so, don't ask questions about it, and I think we all did it anyways, but the thing that he said was that they have to talk to different stakeholders ahead of, being able to kind of figure out what the next steps are here. The word stakeholders could mean a bunch of different things. So when he first said it, it didn't even set off an alarm in my head as far as he's talking about, Bill Chisholm and this guy, Aditya, and kind of the new owners in the ownership group. Because it's also the stakeholders of like the other people in the front office and people around the organization and Wick, who's still the governor and all of that. So I don't know that it necessarily was an indicator that he has to basically say, Bill's going to tell me what to do here. But it was a specific word choice, and Brad Stevens does speak very specifically with his, he picks and chooses his words very carefully. So when I went back to transcribe it, I was like, maybe that was what he was referring to. We won't get to hear from Brad again until the draft, and he kind of said it a bunch of times at his press conference that he'll have more details for us around the Celtics' future and his plans and everything around the draft. And maybe by then there will have been a couple of trades, so it will kind of speak for itself.
I kind of took it like Brad really didn't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You're a reporter. You're there all the time. That's how I took it. We have other hosts on this station who looked at it as the reporters didn't want to try to drill Brad about how do you feel about Joe Mazzulla? How do you feel about the philosophy of the team? I mean, I heard questions like that, and I think he was ready for it. Do you think they're going to have that conversation? And I'll just ask you, do you think the philosophy cost the team an early exit in the playoffs this year?
The three-point shot philosophy?
Yeah, everything in I'm in on Mazzulla ball, but I do think at times Joe's timeouts, right? The substitutions, maybe not pulling the plug on Porzingis in game 5, game 4. There's certain things there. I guess the whole philosophy there. I don't know if Brad was actually asked the question, do you think you shot too many threes?
He was not asked that question. And to be honest with you, I think it's a big question maybe like in sports radio or like maybe a couple degrees removed from the world that we live in. That question has been so beat into the ground with our beats that it's like kind of the last thing that anybody would think to ask at this point, just because it's been years of that question being asked and kind of like being disproved a little bit, because I think we saw that what the philosophy kind of looks like at its best. But I understand why it became a discussion topic, because certainly, especially the way they lost game 1, I think they were, 15 of 60 from 3. Like, it's always going to be a part of the discourse. To me, that's just not why they lost the series. Like, people are going to want to make it, this is the style that this team played, or this is the way that this team is coached. You could blame Joe for how he managed those fourth quarters. And I think everybody is responsible. Jaylen Brown is responsible. Jason Tatum is responsible. Al Horford is responsible. Everybody that was on the floor, everybody that is a part of the team, they choked away those 2 games. And you are very rarely going to be able to overcome choking away the first 2 games on your home floor. And we just saw the Knicks choke away a game yesterday. So is that now Tip's philosophy doesn't work? I don't really subscribe to like that view of because you didn't execute down the stretch of a game, like it reflects on the style that your team plays, being poor. The thing I will say is that Porzingis was supposed to be kind of the release valve for this team, right? After 2023, when they went cold against Miami and they figured we need a release valve against the zone, they go out and they acquire Porzingis, and it just hasn't played out that way because he hasn't been available, right? He misses most of last year's playoff run, and then this year's playoff run, he was a shell of himself. So I would have wanted him, honestly, to not be on the floor at all, because at a point it was kind of painful to watch on a human level, just seeing him struggle. And I don't think that he gave them anything more than Luke Cornett could give them. Even heck, trying to meet Kata. Like, I don't care. Just anybody that is healthy, that is available, that can give you 100% energy. So my biggest critique of Joe in this playoff run was probably just maybe a lack of willingness to dig deeper into the bench, to go with Luke earlier on, who was such a big part of the regular season success. And there was a couple games where I wish Peyton Pritchard had gotten more run, because he was kind of somebody that was, carrying a little bit of a load on offense. So he did get a little bit more like rigid or a little bit more stiff in his substitutions than he was during the season, and that maybe cost him. But at the end of the day, like it's more my philosophy on basketball in general that it's easy to scapegoat the coach. And it's also easy to praise the coach. And in those moments, it's a lot more about the stars on the floor. And it ultimately comes down to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are the guys that make the money, who get the hardware, get the credit when things go well. And in those 2 games, they just didn't deliver. And it was really hard to overcome.
Yeah, last year they got the help from the other guys, and they didn't get it this year. I agree with you. I think the Celtics' biggest problem was rebounding in front court and points in the paint. And really, it was their problem all year. It got them. They relied on Porzingis. They relied on Al. I tipped my cap to New York, though. I really thought they were resilient. So, I just wonder if there will be a call, like Mike Malone or something, just a call. The other thing is Missoula lost a ton off his bench, right? Charles Lee, and then Van Gundy was a big part of what they did a year ago. I'm wondering maybe if that's what they do, is maybe try to support Joe Missoula with a little bit more X and O guys on the bench next year.
I would imagine so, and I think that's the part that sometimes gets lost is the fact that the coaching staff is, about a dozen guys, and we get to know those guys, so it's really apparent, how they each have a different part of the success of the team, and he did lose 2 key pieces, so that's very possible. It's also possible that they do have a discussion around diversifying their offensive philosophy a little bit so that things don't happen like what happened in games 1 and 2. But I would be absolutely stunned if Joe was let go this offseason. Anything else, I would be less surprised. Any personnel move, maybe with the exception of trading Jason Tatum, anything else I would find less surprising than Joe Mazzulla getting fired. I would really be surprised because that's the direction they're headed. I don't think there's really a lot of pressure internally on that right now.
Skaz of the Green Teamers got something for you.
So I just want to add a question about the Sportico and the new owner pitching in, his $1 billion. In the article, it states that the private equity group that's part of this, 6th Street, is only going to end up with around 12.5% of the Celtics when it's finalized, which is lower than people expected. I know with the private equity rules, it can only be 20%, but I kind of took that as a positive if you're a Celtics fan, because all we've heard is private equity, they want to tear things down and make the most profit. So is that, should I be taking that as a positive that the private equity firm only ends up with 12.5% of the team?
I think so. I had the same reaction. Honestly, just the fact that they own a stake in the Spurs, it's like, do you really want your owners to own a stake in like a bunch of different teams? And that's now 19% of your ownership, right? So you would think the less the better there. But again, I don't know I don't know the character or the intentions or the motivations of any of the other owners. And something that I've said is that Bill Chisholm is the perfect face because he's from around here and he's a Celtics fan and he's a personable guy and he's with his family sitting courtside with Wick. But he's not the only guy, right? And so I am curious to learn more about the other owners. There's a bunch of other people that we don't really know yet, and we don't really know exactly how things break down. Like the report today was, that's new news, and that's $1 billion. So I don't have like a strong gut feeling around as a unit how this ownership group is going to behave and whether it's going to be a problem or not. But I had the same reaction as you around, less private equity the better, and especially considering they own a stake in another NBA team. Like that's not somebody that you want to have a massive stake in your team, right?
Yep. All right, Noah Dalzell joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, how do the Celtics downsize? I know you wrote about it, but how do they downsize this offseason?
Well, they're in a predicament. I don't have a perfect answer for you. I think they're almost for sure going to get below the second apron, which means they have to get rid of, I think it's $22 million on the books right now. So it's going to be some combination. If not, they might end up trying to get out of the luxury tax, which is around $40 million. So it's going to be a combination of trading away some of the guys that were a key part of the championship run. I think guys like Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Sam Hauser even are going to they're going to be fielding offers for. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if everybody's on the table and they're kind of gauging everybody's value, including guys that I think fans would hate to see go, like a Derek White, who obviously is on a good contract and has been an impact player in his prime. Because the guys that you want to get rid of are also the guys that nobody else necessarily wants, right? Porzingis' value right now is at an all-time low compared to maybe he has a great start to the season and they trade him ahead of the deadline, right? So I don't know. At this point, I'm still kind of putting the pieces together and doing some reporting on what's likely to happen and what makes most sense. But there are going to be some painful trades that I think people are going to see at first glance and be like, well, this sucks. And it's the reality of they can't keep being in the second apron and paying these high luxury tax rates. And there's a ton of penalties, and I'm not an expert on this, but there's a ton of penalties related to future draft picks and your just ability to exist as a team beyond just the additional taxes that you're subject to.
Yeah, Brad Stevens, one of the things he said was he didn't want to put a ceiling on the group. The other thing he said was that they have very good players, and I almost wonder if that was him trying to, hey, rest of the league, we have really good players here. And, they do have good players. But at the same time, I think the rest of the league knows the financial situation they're in. Well, years ago, people didn't want to deal with Danny Ainge because they always thought they'd get fleeced. Do you think people around the league want to help the Celtics with their financial issues?
I don't think they want to help. I think honestly that Brad Stevens has a little bit of that same reputation around like you're probably a little wary to make moves with him because I think they have won most of the trades that they've made under him. But he does have a point. Like Peyton Pritchard's on one of the best contracts in the NBA, right? He's making like $8 million next year, and he's potentially a guy that could average 18 points a game, right? That's a pretty realistic increase for him. So I do think he has a point that there's a lot of, like, the best thing about the situation that they're in is that they have a bunch of great players that are two-way players that can defend, that have won it all before, under contracts for several years. So if a team is trying to win now and you have a little bit of money to spend, like the Celtics are a great team to work with. The challenge is that some of the contracts that Drew Holiday is, he has 3 years left on his deal at about $30 million a year, or even more than that, actually. And so you're talking now about, like, are you willing to absorb that type of contract for maybe 1 year of prime Drew Holiday? So there are some more problematic contracts there, too. I think Jaylen Brown is another one. I'm sure plenty of teams would love to have him, but do they want him at the Supermax, right? So it's going to come down to teams' individual needs. I've been going through teams. I'm in the midst of this exercise right now. I'm just going through teams, cap space and seeing who actually has the money to take on some of these deals. And not as many teams do as I thought. So they might end up holding on to some guys because they're not able to get rid of some contracts without also spending draft compensation, right? So I've seen reports that if they trade for Drew Holiday, it's going to come attached with a pick for an opposing team, which I don't think that would be a loss. So it's a tough spot, but honestly, it does give me a lot of faith that Brad Stevens is at the helm because we've seen just how good he is at his job. And this is definitely the toughest predicament that he could possibly be in, with a new ownership group, an early exit, Tatum's Achilles rupture, and you have to get rid of a bunch of money, but you still want to be competitive. This is a huge puzzle. So I'm curious to see what he comes up with because I don't have all the answers right now.
Yeah, and just to remind everybody, Marcus Smart has already been traded along with 2 first-round picks just for teams to get rid of him. So you have to maybe feel the same with Drew Holiday. No, before I let you go, Caitlin Clark's going off tonight. What's the story with the Mystics right now? Are they leaving Connecticut, and does this have anything potentially to do with moving to Boston?
The Sun?
Yeah, sorry, the Sun. I know. I keep saying.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say I love the Mystics too, but so they're exploring being up for sale. I've talked to Michael Carter Williams, and he's part of that initial bid. They were looking to bring a team to Boston. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys are aware of that story, but I thought that was a few months ago. And so I don't know if how soon it's going to be. And this is not reporting because I'm still talking to people and kind of figuring this out. But if you ask me in 10 years, is there going to be a team in Boston? I actually think that there's a pretty good chance because I don't know. I've been watching the Golden State Valkyries, the new WNBA team in the Bay, and just seeing the Warriors fan base just immediately embrace that team. And it was just an incredible atmosphere there. They got their first win. I think Boston fans would embrace the WNBA team, and I think it would be awesome. And I think that everybody, kind of business people, everybody kind of is starting to put that pieces together. So, I think it's in the works. The fact that they're even exploring being up for sale, that was not a thing, a few months ago, if you had asked. I covered that Connecticut Sun team last year as a beat reporter, and that was not on the table. So I think that there's an obvious story here that I think everybody can feel Boston would be the perfect place for a WNBA team, and there's a team right now that's 90 minutes away.
Yeah, that was a big deal last year. Everybody was loving the WNBA stuff. You're going, hey, who knows if the new Celtics ownership does get a new arena, they can have that WNBA team to make some more money. So it all connects the dots there. Noah, great job this year. Excellent job on the beat. You're one of the best. Keep it up. You can check out our work, Celtics blog, SB Nation. You're everywhere. So we appreciate you taking a few minutes here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You got it. To Noah Dalzell. She was out playing with her 741 sneakers tonight and joining us here on the Sports Hub. Interesting stuff there on the new ownership, huh? So basically Chisholm came up with $5.1 million, and this fellow who owns a steel company came up with the other $1 billion.
Yeah, and apparently he does have some ties to Boston. I believe he used to work in the city. I think that's as far as his ties go, but it's something.
I just think the company that he owns could help make a stadium.
A lot of money there.
Right?
A lot of steel, Joe.
Could you make this?
You need steel to build a stadium, right?
I just,
I like where your head's at, Joe. Maybe they get a deal, And they know a guy.
No, but maybe they're like, hey, we'll put $5 million. The Celtics to us are worth $5 million. If we can find another investor, then get the stadium. Now Everyone's going to win money.
Name the stadium after the company. Build it all with, that stuff. I don't care.
Add a WNBA team.
Done.
Now you have money coming in, and that could be another arena for events and et cetera.
Joe, I don't know, how on WNBA Twitter you are, but it is it's an interesting place to take
tonight.
Not just tonight, but
tonight.
Just
Caitlin Clark's call. I'm not afraid of you. She said to someone tonight.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, but I just mean in general, WNBA Twitter off to a I guess you could call it a hot start this year. But yeah, there are takes left and right. The W's been great. Veronica Burton hit a game winner last night. Local ties, obviously, part of the Burton family. She was out of the league, back into the league. Hits a game winner for an expansion team last night. So yeah, the W's been good. Caitlin Clark is doing her thing. Paige Beckers has been great as well to start. So W's in a good place right now. I think they would do really well in Boston.
The card business with WNBA. Oof.
Oh, you got a couple Caitlin Clarks.
I got Caitlin Clarks, and they're worth big dough. Got to hang on to them. All right. See, people saying, Joe, you're a genius. Well, I'm just the guy who's just following the breadcrumbs. Not to mention Bill Chisholm's wife's got a nice little side income herself. What was the name of that book again? I know you got a nice little synopsis, guys. I think you got the Cliff Notes version, right?
Yes. The book was called
Hump.
Yes, I had to Google it. It wasn't coming to me, but yes.
I said bump.
Hump. True,
That's right.
True tales of sex after kids, Joe. Hump.
Mm-hmm.
Who could forget?
That's right. All right, well, we'll hit the headline here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, halftime. Thunder, they lead the T-Wolves 56-50. In the NHL, it's the Panthers up 3-0 late in the second period. The Red Sox tonight rained out. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. 1 o'clock will be Brian Bayo, nightcap, Lucas Giolito. And how about the 12-team college playoff removing the 2013 World Series team. You know, not about the young guys down in Worcester or maybe yesterday's loss or the wins this week. They're showing us the old days. By the way, that was 12 years ago. So that's what we have, Skess. No Red Sox game. Like if you're at a bar tonight, right, and that bar was focused on having the Red Sox tonight, this is what they'd have on their TV?
No, they'd put the playoffs on. They'd have to have. You'd hope.
Well, they don't want to watch Marchand. 4-0 now.
What do you do if you're the Hurricanes?
Pull the goalie.
But, I mean, you just extended Brindamore.
I have no clue.
Like, his system doesn't work in the playoffs.
Do you wait it out for Florida to break up?
How long are you going to be waiting?
Well, I don't know. The Bruins are going to be waiting for a couple of years for those picks. So, I mean, you know. I don't know. I feel like at some point, though, it's not hockey. Home to ice doesn't matter. Remember that.
And honestly, Joe, this year in the NBA, home court in the playoffs is not mad. People have been kind of begging for this for a while, where like, you know, the NBA playoffs are a foregone conclusion. Just the top seeds win. What's even the point? Well, you know, not so much this season. I think it's a good thing for the NBA. I know people are going to say, you know, an Indiana OKC final is not what the NBA wants, but, you know, parity is coming around in the NBA.
I think, you know what's funny? As a sports fan, right? OKC Pacers doesn't excite me, but you are watching the MVP of the league versus this not, like, you know, this is what I had actually on our rundown. Is Tyrese Halliburton a superstar? He's an all-star. He's on the Olympic team.
A superstar to me is, and I don't want to discredit Tyrese Halliburton in any way. He's a tremendous, tremendous player, but like Jason Tatum just became a superstar. Like, and even he's kind of fringe to me. Like,
yeah, like he was ahead of Halliburton.
Like Damian Lillard to me is not a superstar
anymore.
Like, I don't know if he ever was. Like, for me, a true superstar is LeBron. You know, like that level of player in the NBA.
Is SGA a superstar?
No, not yet.
Okay, could that final indicate who's a superstar?
Yeah, I think there is a possibility for that.
Is Jalen Brunson a superstar?
No.
Is Cat?
No.
Is Anthony Ant-Man?
I would say no. That's me. I think superstar is the up, like your world. No, like I think these guys are on the precipice. They're stars.
Curry is a superstar.
I would say Steph Curry is a superstar.
Jokic
is a superstar. 3-time MVP title. Yes.
Is Jimmy Butler?
No, not even close.
So that's what I mean. Like, can Halliburton be a superstar?
I think he can be. I don't think he's there yet. But if
he wins a championship, is he a superstar?
He would be a lot closer.
I'll say no because I think that whole team's not superstars. Like that's a team.
They're like the run and gun Pistons basically. Instead of mucking it up and playing defense, they run and gun.
And they have so many matchups. They have a big. They have Siakam who's won a championship. Like Nembhard's this grinder fighter, right? TJ McConnell's like a really tough point guard off the bench who can. I think Matherin's great. He was injured last year. The Celtics didn't get to see him, but he's a game changer as far as coming off the bench. You got to adjust for him.
Toppin was
exactly.
Though that dunk he had last night was crazy.
Think about that draft. It had Obi Toppin. Nesmith was in there. Was Brunson? Was he a second-round pick?
He's been in the league, I'm trying to think, 7 years.
Was SGA in that draft? I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, I get them all mixed up when they're that close together.
Who would have thought that 6 years later, all those players are competing for a championship?
Like Nembhard's been, very good. The guy that killed the Celtics last year.
Joe's in Medford. Joe.
Hey, Joe. What's up? How you doing? Just looking to get looking to give you my take on Game 6, man. The Celtics played 93 games this season. And what game was the worst game of the season? It was the 93rd game of the season. The Celtics didn't even play. They just gave up. They just rolled over. They showed no fight, no will, no desire to win.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
They just tapped out.
Jaylen Brown just turned the ball over every possession. Jaylen Brown, he just held the ball. He holds the ball. JT and Jaylen just hold the ball in their position. They hold it. They hold it close to their chest, and they don't pass it around. They just hold it against their chest, and then they just chuck it at them. That's not an offense. Like, can we just get a timeout? If we get a timeout, we stop the run and then draw up a play. After the timeout, we come out and we run that drawn-up play after the timeout. It's Joe, this is the most devastating loss. After the loss, I wanted to listen to your show. I wanted to listen after Game 6. I wanted to listen to you, but I banged my head against the wall. I ran out of my house. I went down, went to Shanghai Moon in Medford. I got 3 Mai Tais. I blacked out. I tried to ride my bike home. I crashed into a tree, fell down onto the pavement, and I said, why? Why? They don't have a desire. There's no desire to win. It's a checkbox. It's Jason Tatum checkbox. NBA Finals, he checked it off. It's a check on the awards list. He checked that award. He's moving on to the next award. It's just you get the MVP check, you get the NBA Finals check, NBA Finals MVP. It's just a check for every award, and so there's no desire to win, and that's what the Celtics just lack. They lack the desire to win. But there's a great team here. You have one of the greatest Celtics teams ever put together. Brad Stevens is a genius. And this Celtics team can go deep into the playoffs next year too.
Are you upset about anything tonight?
Dude, I have to tell you, last night the farting session last night was hilarious. I died laughing.
You ever been on a plane where someone farted?
Oh my God, Joe, you make me. I was on the floor laughing so hard last night. You're fucking hilarious.
Oh, all
You're
right.
hilarious.
Thank you. Dump. We almost made it to 10 o'clock, Skaz. We almost made it. You know what? Tomorrow night, do you mind if we replay some of that call? Could you save that one?
I banged my head against the wall. I ran out of my house. I went down, went to Shanghai Moon in Medford. I got 3 Mai Tais. I blacked out. I tried to ride my bike home. I crashed into a tree, fell down onto the pavement, and I said, why? Why? Why?
Yeah, let's revisit that tomorrow night.
Joe in Medford, you're welcome anytime. Anytime.
So last week I asked him how high he was, but he couldn't answer me because he was so high.
Why?
Oh, God. All right, we got Murray's Musings coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports.
Lido will have you in the nightcap in the 12-team college football playoff. They'll move to a straight seeding model this fall, awarding teams that are the top 4. Headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and their Golden Program. Medication-free, fast weight loss solution for those over 60. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
World unrelated to sports, so sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Murray's Musings here on 98.5 The Sports. I know Skaz has one for tonight, but I did something special in honor of the Weenie 500. I got myself a wiener from Five Guys sliced with just ketchup. And I figured, why don't I just eat it while we do Musings? So, Skaz, what do you got tonight for us?
Well, Joe, you said you were doing this, and I completely forgot about it. I completely forgot that pre-show.
Told you I got a hot dog.
You weren't lying. A man of his word.
Good.
Yes, Joe. I have two. One not really amusing. One is both. Well, one is not really amusing. The other one completely my own fault. But I'm wondering if you've ever had a situation like this. So on Saturday, my dad and his girlfriend in town from New York for the weekend says, "Hey, you want to go out in Plymouth?" I said, "Yeah, I love Plymouth. Saturday, beautiful day. It was nice. Went down there, met up with some, family friends, went out to dinner. And as we're leaving, my dad, being the, Italian, Syrian father that he is, he always sends me off with food, drinks, whatever it is. He gave me tons of beers, but and I don't even really drink, but he was like, I ate too many of them.
There's a couple of beers.
Yeah, too many of them at his house. But he did give me, Joe, a beautiful loaf of focaccia bread.
Oh, yes.
That was frozen. So he hands it to me, and we parked in the same parking lot. Thank you. I love you. See you in a bit. Say goodbye. I put the loaf of focaccia bread in my back seat. Joe Murray, would you like to guess where that loaf of focaccia bread is?
The trunk.
It is still in my back seat, Joe. I have not thought about it until about an hour ago when I told you, Joe, I have a musing for tonight because I have left a beautiful loaf of focaccia bread in the back seat of my car for the last 5 days now. So have you ever done anything like that? And two, do you think it's still good? I'm very upset about it. Love focaccia bread. But yes, I literally have not thought about it since he handed it to me until about an hour ago and just realized it is still in my backseat.
Well, would you eat it?
If it's good, absolutely.
It's been outside. The weather hasn't been great. It was frozen.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm hoping it's still good.
As long as there's no mold on it, I think you're good to go.
Good to go?
I have done that with milk before.
No, that's a no-no.
What I like to do sometimes is leave snacks in the car because if they're in the house. Yogurt, not good to be left in your car on a hot day. Not good. Those things aren't. What would you put on your focaccia bread?
Nothing. Maybe a little olive oil or something, but a little dip maybe or something. But it's usually good to go. Don't need anything for that.
I'd put oil in a pan is what I would do. Actually, you could. The oil and I don't know what it is about that. It's so good. By the way, that hot dog didn't stand a chance.
No, that was you were putting up Joey Chestnut times with that thing.
I'm full though. It did the trick. I only needed one. It was sliced, cooked. The ketchup was for real. You know what's funny? The bread didn't get soggy. I'm out on soggy bread, bro. If I got a meatball or a chicken parm or even a steak and cheese, I don't want soggy bread. Out. I don't want soggy bread. I'm out on soggy. I don't want it. So don't give it to me. Know what else? I don't like when you eat pizza and the grease is just dripping off the back of it.
I don't need pools. I don't need pools on the pizza.
I used to put napkins on stuff like that. What else you got? You got another one?
Yeah, Joe. So I have a house in a little. It's kind of a house, but in a little neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I got a little side yard there. The other day, earlier this week, getting ready to leave for work, and my doorbell rings, which doesn't happen very often.
Wow.
Go outside. It's a group of young kids.
Young children?
Yes. 10 to 15. What I have no idea.
Like riding their bikes.
Riding their
in
bikes.
the yard?
Yes.
Okay.
They said, "Hey."
They're selling candy.
No, they said, "Hey, can we mow your lawn?"
Oh, boy.
I said, "Oh, I usually mow the lawn. It's not a big lawn. It takes me maybe 20 minutes." But I said, "Hey guys, I don't know if I need you to mow the lawn, but it's supposed to pour on Thursday and Friday. What if you guys come back tomorrow? I'm buying some grass seed. I got a couple dead spots. What if you guys spread the seed this week? I'll give you $20. You come back next week and cut it. I'll give you, whatever it is, $20, $30, whatever it is."
Good deal, $30.
Is that, did I, because I was one of these kids once. I used to go around during snowstorms, bang on doors and try and shovel driveways and stuff. I didn't want to discourage them. I was like, good for these kids. They're out of school. They're looking for something to do. They're in the neighborhood. I see them riding their bikes all the time. Have you ever had a situation like that? And, I felt almost like bad, but $20 to spread some grass seed. I feel like that's easy money there.
So I don't think it's ever happened as far as doing my yard work. I actually get a lot of landscapers in the area being like, "Hey, can we do your house?" And it's like, dude, I mow my grass.
Yeah, I kind of like mowing the grass, but I didn't want to be like, "No, you can't mow my grass." So I feel like I gotta let them do it once or twice.
So I mowed this week, but dude, I need to weed whack. And it's funny, but is there so this is what I'll answer your question in a second, but should you weed whack first, then mow? Like, what's the order? And I'm also a blower too, so I get my
add that to the list.
I get my weed whacker, I get my lawn mower, and I get my leaf blower. I do it all.
Yeah, I think I used to landscape, so I should know this, but I feel like you do the edges first and then clean it up with the mower.
So yeah.
I feel like that's what I used to do, but it's been a while.
I have some rocks that have been broken in my driveway that I need to I don't know if I'm gonna rake them out or scrape them out or whatever. I got. I might have to put some more. What do you call it? Not tar, but whatever. I got to put some more down. Fix those rocks. Anyways, the only time people ever knocked on my door was for candy. I used to hustle candy back in the day, but you know what? Now, know what parents do? They just buy it. They'll leave it here. Smart, by the way. And dude, when I worked office jobs, I actually saw my buddy. I used to work. So funny. I saw him 2 weeks ago with his young daughter, and I go, dude, you used to bring your daughter. He would walk his daughter around the office, 400 people in the office, and walk his daughter. His daughter had a cart of Girl Scout cookies, and so they'd be like, "Oh," she'd be like, "Hi, do you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies for me?" And she had them all. This wasn't like you had to order them and then wait for them to come in. And I was like, "You got the Thin Mint?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'll buy 4 boxes," and I can't remember what they were, but I bought them all. And she sold out. She won the trip or whatever it was, the candy marathon, whatever, Girl Scout thing. And so funny, last week I go to a card show and I see him and his daughter, and the first thing I said to his daughter was, "Dude, I used to buy Girl Scout cookies from you all the time." And she laughed. She goes, "Oh, I know." She goes, "That's how I know you. I remember you."
The cookie guy.
I love the Thin Mint, though, guys.
When was the last time you had a Girl Scout cookie? I feel like it's been a while.
I've had knockoff stuff that calls itself Girl Scout cookie. I've had a Girl Scout cookie ice cream before. I love that Thin Mint. What's your favorite mint? Growing up, I loved the York peppermint patty.
Oh yeah, I like an Andes is good.
Junior mints can be good.
After Eights, Joe. I don't know if you remember those. Those are pretty good. Remember those back in the day? Yeah, Junior Mint's good. But yeah, I think a peppermint patty's probably right up there. I'm a mint chocolate chip ice cream guy, too.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. So did they come back?
So they came back. They spread the seed.
You gave them $20?
Gave them $20.
And they're coming back?
They're going to come back next week and mow. See what happens.
Honestly, I mean, it's $20.
Yeah.
But
it's a small yard. Maybe I'll give them 30 because there was 3 of them.
If these kids come back and do the job, I will restore my faith in humanity.
Yeah, that's kind of what my girlfriend was like. My girlfriend was like, you got to pay him. You got to let him do it.
You're taking a shot that people are good.
Yeah, why not? I'd want the $20 if I was them.
Guys, people aren't good anymore.
Yeah, hold out some hope, Joe. Why not? People are good in numbers, bad as individuals.
I grew up in the city, and there's no damn way I'm giving kids money before they finish a job. And I'm sorry, but...
Oh, they spread the seed first, then they got the $20. So don't worry about that.
No, but now they got to come back and cut it.
Yep. I know people are telling me you got to let the seed stay for like 2 weeks. I'm like, whatever. It's not... They weren't... It wasn't patching up the whole yard. Just giving them something to do.
You can't trust kids on bikes.
Why? Because you were one of them, Joe?
That's right. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, you know what I was thinking about today was the guy on the airplane. The nice guy that asked... Now, Skaz, if I was consumed by farts on an airplane and it was not me, I'd probably would drop a expletive. All right. You know what I would probably do? I'd probably stand up and be like, hey, who's farting? Cut it out. And I would scare everybody. I'd probably stand up and be like, who's farting?
What is that going to do? You're going to scare more farts out of them, Joe.
Again, I'm thinking about what I would do.
This has made me think I need to carry a mint chapstick or something with me.
That's what I mean, because they won't let you on. Dude, I had
can't have cologne or anything.
I had a spray bottle of something that were like, nope, this can't go on. I'm like, what? Spray? No, you can't have any spray. Nothing.
You get what the coroners do under the nose or something. Maybe you get that. Take that on the plane.
Maybe there's nose plugs.
There you go. Take the earplugs.
Because they give out earplugs.
Might as put them in the nose, see what happens.
Or maybe you can wear that thing, which is not made for that at all. So for those that missed it last night, there was farting going on in the plane, and, well, someone asked nicely. I, again, would not have asked nicely, but let's listen to this fine, young, nice man.
Whoever is farting, don't fart, please. It smells bad.
It smells bad.
I hope that man's okay.
No, because I think I would have. He did it nicely.
No, yes. That's as nice as you can ask someone to stop farting.
Not me. I think I would have been like, who's farting? I think I've done that with my friends before. I'm going to break. I almost just broke again. No, I've been with my friends before, and I'm like, who's farting? Who are you? Who is it? Who dealt it? Because I smell it. That hot dog was good. Do you think Street Team Joe knows about the Wiener 500?
He's gonna tomorrow.
That's right.
We'll get him in Slack bright and early.
So it's on at 2:00, right? So I'm gonna have to stream this bad boy. So maybe I'll go live on Twitter.
Hey, whatever happened to Periscope? Whatever happened to that thing?
That was the best. Oh, Periscope was so good. All of them. What's the other one that went? Vine?
Oh, yeah, Vine was great. 6 seconds elapsed right there.
Still wish I had a MySpace wall.
Top friends.
I had all my top friends.
What was your MySpace song, Joe? Do you remember?
The last one that I ever had was The Flies Got You Where I Want You.
I think mine was It's Going Down by Young Jock was the last one I had.
It's going down.
Banger.
Meet me at the mall.
Yeah.
It's going down.
I was probably in 8th grade or something. Yeah, my guy Kid Cudi was testifying today.
It's just that, dude, Do you know how we did the Mount Rushmore of a-holes? Whew. Thank God I said a-hole. But I think Diddy's going to go up there now. Like, he's really on the Mount Rushmore of a-holes.
He's like a real-life villain.
Like, I put where Dan Shaughnessy called the 04 Red Sox a pack of frauds. What's so funny is the things that I remember from, like, the old sports is Shaughnessy and Millar saying, don't let us win one more. And then when Bob Ryan said that the 08 Celtics aren't deep enough, they don't have a bench. And then Eddie House every day and James Posey every day. Pissed about that. It's funny. What do we got for birthdays today? Let's see. How about singer Morrissey, 66 years old today? Johnny Gill, 58 years old today. Naomi Campbell, 55, dude? Oh, my God. Sean Gunn, 51. Jennifer Goodwin. She was on Big Love. I like.
Joe, it is Tommy John's birthday today.
Whoa.
Tommy John's 82nd birthday.
My buddies at Card Vault opened up a new shop today, and Tom Brady was with them because it's Card Vault by Tom Brady now. And so Edelman couldn't be with Brady today, so he shared a photo with Peyton Manning. Do you think he really, are we just like making this up? Like, Edelman loves Tom Brady.
Yes.
Like, if there could be a bro, like it's cool that him and Gronk are boys because like they don't live Brady's life, right? But like Edelman and Gronk really could be a road show. Like in Vegas, Gronk had his own party.
Tampa Tom or whatever. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
What was it though? Was Brady sitting by a pool or something? What
I don't remember. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes. It was very cheesy in typical Brady and Gronk fashion.
Edelman threw a lot of passes. I think he threw a touchdown pass to Amendola. I think he threw another one to who was the first round pick from the Colts that got traded? He was like a fourth
Austin
receiver.
Collie?
No. Philip Dorsett.
Oh, Dorsett. He's a good little player. First round pick, though.
No, I remember like Edelman threw a bullet at him.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but he was solid third, fourth receiver.
He had a couple of passes to James White that almost went for touchdowns, like big plays. And you know what else I hated? One time he threw the ball once to Cam Newton and once to Tom Brady. When Brady caught it, he stumbled. I also remember when Brady threw one left-handed from his ass. What didn't Brady do?
I remember
he
when
he punted once.
Was that the Bengals game that he threw one from the ground? I think I was at that game. It's early. He fell down and threw one from his ass. I think it was against the Bengals.
In case you didn't know, in 04, the Red Sox won the World Series.
I remember very distinctly.
Back to Falk underneath.
It's part of the reason why I'm here.
The Red Sox fans long to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. So, Nessen showing us 04 Red Sox.
The good old days. I remember.
No, but like, it's raining. So you don't want to watch the games, right, that are on? Hey, let's see what's on Nessen. Is this what now granted, NBC Sports Boston showed that 86 documentary a lot. All right, well, we're going to go to break here. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Where's all my soul sisters? Let me hear your flow, sisters.
Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, flow, sister.
Hey, Joe, want to give it a go? It's ladies' night tonight. We had Kendra Middleton on earlier today. Noah Dalzell, Celtics reporter, basketball reporter. And on the line with us right now is our Mother's Den in our chat. It's Brokerage Babe, Julia. Hello, Julia.
Hey, you can call me Katie or the Babe. That's fine.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
It's ladies' night. We just gave you some.
It is indeed.
We gave you some Moulin Rouge. So
I really appreciate it when you do that, though. Too, I do. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
The ladies' night in general. You know, you have actually a lot of ladies that you don't know. Some, one that hate listens, and one that reluctantly listens. But you've got a lot of ladies out there. You know?
Brokerage Babe. If I have a hate listen. That's good. I mean,
it's hilarious. Oh no, it's the funniest thing in the world.
Well,
seriously, it's all because you said that whatever you said to Greg Bedard. Oh my God, she's she's in love with Greg Bedard. So now she hates you. But also they listen to the station all the time. So. Like her kid. Oh, actually, she's an English teacher, and
she must hate my grammar.
No, what she does, though, is the midday show. She lets her seniors, listen to it towards, the end of the year. And she gets them to kind of, practice, what they would do, how they would, call into a radio show, Because it's on during, the school day and stuff.
Well, I got a good... I'll tell you a story off the air. But anyways, give us some cliff notes on Hump.
Okay. So, I of course, I did read the book, and I am a person that takes notes, So I was out and about actually driving, and you don't want me to call when I'm driving. And I looked at the front page and what I wrote, and so I'll just read it. So I wrote, say that again?
Keep it clean.
Oh, no, I of course, no, I will keep it clean. I'm not going to say anything like that. I know what, Joe, come on, I know what to do. So she talks about sex, really. The book is about sex. So the title of the book is Hump, True Tales of Sex After Kids, right? And she covers a lot of material in this book. And it's a great book, I think, for anybody that has birthed. I haven't birthed a child, but I am a stepmom, and I could relate to a lot of it. And there's a lot of funny stories. Some of the men, I'm sure they'll, dig some of the stories. But I wrote at the front, I said, sex. She said it's a human undertaking that is foundational. And she poses the question, how many acts have the potential to feel so incredibly good? And I think that what you were talking and what you talk about with authenticity, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's really kind of what she offers here.
You don't think she could BS this? This is real.
No. She discusses her sister, her pro-sex stance sister. She discusses her family and how she grew up, and she discusses Bill and how he grew up, and their whole upbringing, what they brought into the marriage as far as for her, sex is very important, and it's something that she needs, and she's willing to be open and to talk about, and she talks about it with, no, I do not think this is BS. There's no way. And not only that, it's not just her telling these stories. It is true tales of sex after kids. It's people she knows. It's, oh my God, you learn about so many. I learned about the sensitive man that takes his time. I want one of those, legit. I'm like, oh, the sensitive man. I like this, right? So, no, but she talks about pleasure parties for women. I was introduced to that way back when I started working. No, she covers a lot of bases. I don't think there's anything BS about it at all. It takes balls to write this stuff down and publish it and hold yourself out there as this.
Do you think that when Bill Chisholm takes over, that people will. I mean, listen, they're clearly. I don't think they're like afraid or embarrassed or any of that stuff. But
I think they'll be envious. I think they'll be like, "Wow, I wish I had that. I wish that my wife wanted to, go. I wish my wife was so into me that she's willing to come up with tips and tricks for sneaking away from the kids and getting in the closet real quick. No, I think, and I think if they feel anything else about it, then they're fucking. I'm sorry, they're childish. No, I'm good. No, but they're childish. No, that's a childish way to look at it. So I won't even entertain that because you know what? They would have to read the actual full book, and I doubt that they will do that. They might read excerpts.
All right. Well, Brokerage Babe, you speak excellent. So you should.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm saying you should do a podcast or something.
I told you, I've told you my history. I know. Thank you, though. Thank you, Joe. It's also 10:44 at night, and by the time I get to your show, I'm shot out of a cannon. I'm not in good shape. Listen, thank you. I appreciate that.
You did an excellent job. Thank you for your feature on the book.
Okay.
Appreciate
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Brokerage Babe, Julia, who I've met, great person. Met her at Pucks and Paddles. And that was informative. 10:45 at night, Gaz. I think that was informative for everybody.
I'm with you. I don't think there's any. Seems like a healthy, loving relationship. We can all aspire to be that.
I'm glad she learned something.
I might have to get a copy of this book, Joe.
I wonder if it's going to help them find a way to revamp the team this year. Find different positions of trade value and, assets and things to that degree. All right. Well, that was great, Brokerage Baby. You were excellent. Absolutely excellent. All right, well, we'll tell you what's going on tomorrow night here on the show. We'll do that next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way.
Back here on 98.5 Sports. You think we could ever start our own golf course, guys?
Joe, that is a weekly discussion in my group chat with my friends. If anybody hits the lottery, golf course is the first purchase. We got the staff ready to go. We got a grass guy. We got an irrigation guy. It's done.
You gotta have a wedding venue set up so you can charge minimum $50,000 every time.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
But yeah, one of my best friends, it's what he does. He does irrigation for golf courses all over the country. So we got the plans in motion.
I got a buddy who can make mobile driving ranges. He made one for Kid Rock that's in the middle of the ocean. Yeah. I'll send you his thing. It's cool. Anyways, I feel like we could make a lot of money. Because, like, if you own the land, right? Well, I guess you got to maintain it. That's going to cost some dough. Right?
Yeah, you want to be a little more south so you can get some year-round play, and you're only getting a couple months up here.
Do you know what I think the cutoff is here? Thanksgiving.
I've golfed on Christmas Eve before.
Oh, wow, that's
it was
impressive.
Beautiful out
now,
there.
They don't charge you, though, right?
It depends on where you go.
Oh, if that was George Wright in Boston, it would no way. See you later, dude.
I mean, I worked in golf for years, so I know a couple guys, get out a couple spots. But yeah, anytime you can sneak out in December or, anytime around there, it's great.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to pay some people to maintain that bad boy, though, huh? Then you got to make a 19th hole. You got to get a chef for that and a bartender. Then you need to buy stuff to put in your clubhouse that you can sell. Anyways, I'm in.
Joe Murray merchandise.
I'm working on that, too. Oh, I'll share that another day. A lot of rats on the ice tonight.
Mashi.
A lot of rats. I just should mention this Pierre LeBrun tweet from today. On the Bruins coaching search. Which, again, when nobody comes interviewing for the job, I'll be sure to call you. Thank you. Pierre LeBrun, my understanding is the final interviews will be conducted next week and then a decision to come after that. Not sure who made the cut. Boston has talked to a lot of people. Marco Sturm, Jay Woodcroft, Mitch Love, Luke Richardson, Joe Sacco, Jay Leach among those believed to have interviewed. Where is Mark Savard?
Yeah, what happened to all the people that were telling us that they were waiting because the coach they wanted was still in the playoffs, and then the report came out, no, that's not the case at all. Misha Donskoff, not one of the guys.
And who's the guy that went to the Blackhawks today?
I don't know. He wasn't even on my radar, yeah.
But they are signing people. It's Joe Sacco or nothing here, right? I only say that as like, you're going to middle. He did nothing. No, Joe Sacco, I like you, bud. You're from Medford. We probably would both love Bob's Deli, What was that Chinese joint that the dude had the Mai Tais from?
Oh,
crashed his bike.
We'll hear it tomorrow night.
I'll go have a scorpion bowl with you there, bud. I mean, Jay Leach.
Said why? Why?
Why, oh, why?
Why?
It's a Carrigan. So stupid. I love that. Marco Sturm. Again, I'll at least say, besides his name, I like his body of work. I'll be doing Sturm counts every night.
I got 3 Mai Tais. I blacked out. I tried to ride my bike home. I crashed into a tree, fell down onto the pavement, and I said, why? Why?
I appreciate that he's on his bicycle, though. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no drinking and driving.
Smart, I guess.
Man.
Smart-ish.
So, the dude Woodcroft was with Edmonton, right?
Crazy dye job on that guy, yeah.
He's interesting to me.
It seems like Edmonton's been pretty good. I mean, they've Connor McDavid.
They've lost in the second round every year, right?
Well, they're
except
in
for last year.
I think we got to. They were in the finals last year. Didn't they lose? Yeah.
But he got fired though. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They win it all this year. I don't know if I'm feeling too good about them, but Florida looks like they are unstoppable right now.
Who's Mitch Love? That sounds like a cool name for the area after that hump interview with Brokerage Babe. He was with the Capitals, who's had a pretty good run, right? They're in a playoff team, tough. He's young. He's 40. Wow. Even the Pittsburgh Gazette says that they should take them, the Penguins. So maybe he's a maybe he was like, I'm not taking the job unless there's a GM signed. Anyways. Well, that's the latest on anyways. Whatever. We're back here tomorrow night, guys. Full show.
Not a fourth and Friday, but we'll figure it out.
Not a fourth and Friday. It's a getaway day and Friday. Oh, well. All right. Well, that's it for us tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us in the chat. We'll see what we got tomorrow. There's some things we didn't get to tonight. And I'm just looking at it, and